Good evening, you awesome people out there, and happy Monday night and happy New Year's. My name is Scott Churchson, and this is Streampunk Sport Monday Night Football reaction, rambling, and commentary. As Ben Roethlisberger may very well be playing his final home game in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform as he takes on the longtime division rival in the Cleveland Browns. Alongside me, as always, is the fabulous fantastic individual down there, Mr. Brandon Kay, who just came back from Maine. How you doing, sir?
Good. Very well relaxed. Back in my home turf, home field advantage, and I'm ready for this game. I'm actually, as much as I'm soured towards the Steelers in general, I've actually been really excited for this game for the narratives. I think, basically with that whole press conference with him talking, it's definitely time to hang up the cleats.
Yeah. We're
going to go. He's definitely not going to revert to some backup role. So there's no team that's going to take a flyer on him next year, even as a bridge quarterback to another, 1 year till somebody else comes in.
Yeah, completed pass for the first down. Interestingly enough, I was looking on ESPN before, and the votes actually had, and I don't know why, the Cleveland Browns as favored to win this game. It was 54% likely that the Browns are going to win this game. Now, I don't typically make
massive swing. There was the massive swing in the betting line.
Here's what I don't usually make typical outright bets, as far as locked in picks. I don't typically do that. I leave a little room for error in case I look like I'm stupid. But I will go on a limb right now, and I will say outright, Pittsburgh is going to win this game. They are not going to lose this game for Ben Roethlisberger. There's no way in hell.
Just from betting purpose and just on paper, you could just give them the 3 points for being at home. But I think this is a toss-up game. But just at the end of it, I don't think Cleveland is going to win this game.
This is an impassioned team that is playing for their future Hall of Fame quarterback. There's so much emotion. Yes, they are technically in the playoff hunt right now. They have to win both games. The Colts have to lose next week.
Yeah,
also.
They're not out of it. So they're not out of it.
Yeah.
So they really they have almost double the things on the line. Because if you go out, even if you lose in the playoffs, you were lucky to get in. You play, you win today, and then you have Baltimore next week. I think you could end the season and end your career, even with a loss in the playoffs, on a very respectable note.
100%, yeah. He brought not one, but two Super Bowls to that team. He brought credibility back to that team for the first time in decades. And in this case, like I said, this is the last home, probable last home game for his career. There is talk that maybe he's going to come back next season, but where would he maybe go? San Francisco, maybe? As a starter, I don't know. You have to think about this from a couple different perspectives. But maybe Seattle, I don't know. It's a rebuild team. Throw it complete over the middle, but it's going to be short, and they're going to have to punt on this one. They picked up about 8 or 9, but it's going to bring them a 4th down and 5, and they're going to have to clearly punt. But at 7-7-1, yes, mathematically they're still in this. Yeah, it was a low snap, but he was able to recover well enough.
Right.
In this case, it's funny though. Look how important suddenly that tie against the Detroit Lions was. A game that they should not have tied. They nearly lost, actually. But that 8-7 would have made a world of difference right about now. So,
we heard it too. As soon as that tie happened, I was like, of course, Mike Tomlin is going to go another season without being under 5. Because they have the expanded season, uneven amount of games. You either are over, you either are without a tie. You either are over 500 or you're not. So the fact that out of all the teams and all the coaches, he's the one with the tie. Obviously, I know the Lions have the tie, but there's no historical narrative with any Lions coach or the Lions team having a tie or under 500 records for the season or any nonsense like that.
Bad penalty, by the way. And this one, first penalty of the game is a personal foul. Face mask. On the
they both could have. You know what?
Yeah, but that's going to go in this case to the kicking team first.
Yeah.
But it's a bad penalty they should not have taken. But again, I still stand by my belief on this.
Oh, here we go. Trevor Lawrence with his hair and his subway.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, he looks so much like one of those Hanson brothers.
At least you hear Zach Wilson get all social media. Everyone calls him like a Disney Channel movie guy.
One of those Hallmark movie kind of guys.
But you know what? Hey, he's gone 4 games without throwing a single interception.
He's growing.
For lack of a better term, went toe to toe with Tom Brady yesterday in the Bucs. Then they had really no business. I'm not even mad at the loss. I'm happy with what I got. But
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm sitting there, and we'll continue to talk about this. But what is your thought with Antonio Brown?
Okay. As we're having another Trevor Lawrence Subway commercial right about now. Anyway,
is it the same one?
What's that?
Is it the same one?
No, it's a different one. Actually, maybe he's not even in this one. It's in the Subway commercial. Okay, my take on Antonio Brown is this. I think straight up, it is some sort of a mental illness, possibly tied to CTE, bipolar, schizophrenia, some kind of a manic episode happened yesterday. With bipolar disorder, not unipolar, but bipolar, you have the peak highs, you have the peak, the valley lows. If he had a peak high moment, that could be that sort of mania that happens with bipolar disorder. If that ended up happening and it does turn out that was the case of it, a lot of people internally are going to feel like assholes because a lot of them went on social media and ripped the shit out of him for it. And then they're going to look like, and they're never going to come out and apologize for the fact that they were wrong. But I think when it comes down to it, this very easily could be some sort of a mental illness that's showing itself in a lot of ways, just from maybe the stress and the pressure and who knows what it is. And
it's all those hits from Vontaze Burfict.
Dude, honestly, like I said, bipolar combined with CTE or some kind of a flavor of that. As Baker's under center right now for the first play for Cleveland. And I hope he finds a way to find internal peace. I'm going to use Mike Tyson as a small example of that. Now, Tyson, I think, has $50,000 worth of pot he spends on every month. But first play from scrimmage drops for a 1.5 yard loss. And
he's very open about it, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, Tyson is 100%.
When you're really that level of celebrity, there's no reason not to be.
Yeah, but if you look at what happened with Antonio Brown there, I see some of the same similar patterns. So again, the good news is first down for Cleveland, by the way, and then a little bit more on that. Nice run, nice pass, catch and run. What I think is important to notice here is that if he does have some kind of a mental illness and does get it under control, that it's going to raise further awareness more than we've already got when it comes to the NFL. It's starting to be something that's a little more noticed societally speaking. This is a big name to come out with something like this. And in some bizarre, morbid sort of way, I kind of hope maybe that is what it is, because it would give a little bit of maybe empathy to what he's dealing with. And maybe people won't look at him as just, no, it's Antonio Brown being an asshole. No, it's Antonio Brown battling some shit maybe you don't get. And that's where I think, in some weird way, I kind of hope it's something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm getting off my soapbox now.
I'm forgetting the fact that I was going to say Buffalo. The fact that the Bucs cut him. I think that was his, so to speak, kind of retirement.
I don't know. And here's where I'm curious on that 2nd down and 10, by the way. I could almost in some ways, let's play out what I just mentioned, play that all the way out as far as we can go with it. Is suppose hypothetically, and by the way, you got a 1-bar signal, so I'm not sure actually if you got dropped or you can hear anything I'm saying. Or anyway, over the middle, incomplete, and brings up a 3rd down and 10.
Are you
Baker? Okay.
No.
So.
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay. Yeah, it dropped out for a second. It's fine. Yeah, Baker.
No, I don't know if you caught what I said, but I.
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't know if you caught what I said about Brown. But I think that was his kind of retirement.
I did hear that, And I'm going to basically take this out of the
forgetting the fact that the Bucks cut him.
I'll say maybe, because here's what I'm going to look at from a business perspective. He has a mental illness. He gets treatment. He's under medication. He's under a doctor's care, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Drop pass should have been caught. Probably would have been a first down, but should have been caught anyway. So it's fourth down now. If a team looks at him and decides, you know what, we can take a flyer on him because of what he brings to the to the table, what he brings to the field. He's under a doctor's care, medication, et cetera, et cetera. A team can come out looking like an absolute rose either way, because either they bring him in, give him a shot, and help him redeem his NFL career, or bring him in, he fails, and they can say, you know what, we tried. And a team can look at that and be like, you know what, this is a win-win PR move either way.
Yeah, I don't think teams are even going to want to take a flyer on him unless he's already sought treatment by himself.
That's what I was saying. If he's under a doctor's care,
or just on his own, within his own resources.
Yeah, if he's under something, that required. Again, this is playing out he is bipolar or something like that in this case. If that is the case and he gets treatment and that basically kind of redeems his cred a little bit and can show he can still bring to the field, I could see a team taking a flyer on him and being like, we're going to give him a second shot because we care about mental illness and the mental health of our players. It's a great PR move.
But is it a second shot already?
Oh, it could be second, third,
really,
fourth.
Though, like how many?
And how many times did Steve Howe get brought back into baseball? And by the way, kids don't even know who Steve Howe is. Like I said, my point is, I'm just saying it's possible that some team could take a flyer on him at a no risk. Again, just like I said, it's a possibility.
Yeah, it's definitely not out of possibility.
We've seen weirder shit in this league. We know that.
Yeah, we definitely have, and definitely more questionable signings.
Yeah. So right now, I was going to say the ball's back in Pittsburgh's court again. The kick with a touchback, so it's going to be the 25-yard line. For all y'all out there, you guys last night, I know we had a few Vikings fans on there actually trash talking their own team royally. And let us know in the comments if you have any horse in this race. Again, this is still Pittsburgh's game to lose.
You know what? With the Vikings fans, though, Pat Shurmur, you got to be better than that. You get asked about your backup quarterback.
They were so not aggressive last night. And obviously they lost Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry, go ahead, man. I'm cutting you off.
No, I'm saying that's what I think. Every team, this is the first time he's not really playing Kirk. And you put this kid in at the end of the season, and then you come up to the podium and you're all sour and you're like, nah, not really. I see him every day. Like, what kind of answer is that?
Yesterday was a day for a lot of weird podium conversations, wasn't it? But you're looking, like I said, they were screwed from the get-go. There was no way in hell that they were going to have even a shot in hell of beating Aaron Rodgers.
No, not at all. Mm-hmm. No, I mean he's really on such a tear right now.
Yeah, and that is the team to beat too. That team's record, they are undefeated at home this season, and Aaron Rodgers has a phenomenal, one of the best all-time home records of any team, of any quarterback in NFL history.
Nor has he thrown a pick against this NFC North in God knows how many seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like 40. No, that can't be 40 straight games. That's too long. But it was like a significant amount of time. Might have been like 38 games, 36 games, or something like that.
It could have been. By the way, I have my prediction. Did you have? I haven't said it out loud yet. Do you have a guess on this one?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm gonna go 28-21 Steelers.
Okay. So you're pretty darn close to what I had. I'm just typing it in the comment. So I had actually predicted 25-12 because I decided to go with like weird numbers just for the hell of it. So you're saying 27-21. I'm saying 25-12. I think
that's funny because I weirdly thought, I'll throw in a Rush reference, and I'll pick 21-12 just for the fun of it. So that's really funny. But I'll stick to a pretty traditional football score.
Yeah, I was going to say you're 27-21. I'm 25-12. We're both in agreement that the Steelers are going to win this game. Second down, by the way, Najee Harris had a decent pickup on that. And by and large, so far, they're controlling the clock this quarter. Najee Harris.
I'm not as confident as New England going into Atlanta, and absolutely for some reason, you knew that Atlanta at home had no chance of winning.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say it's like Jacksonville going into New England yesterday. Yeah. You lose by 40, on the road. Incomplete 3rd down and 4. But New England.
Yeah, it kind of makes you forget when they put up 50 against the Jets.
Nah. Well, 50 doesn't happen too often anymore. But again, like I said, you got to give your Jets a lot of credit there. They played hard. They played close. It was a game that for a while you're kind of like, maybe they can pull this off. But again, you took him right down to the end. You Apollo created him in Rocky 1. Back and forth, stayed close, and required a last minute.
And other than the QB sneak, you didn't turn the ball over. You gave yourselves every opportunity to win.
Mm-hmm. Another flag.
That was the most crucial time, and kind of you knew Brady was going to kind of take the reins from there.
Sure. But again, you got to give the Jets a lot of credit because they played with excitement, and honestly, they're the better team of the two teams in New York right now. You know where that team is going. There's direction. There's hope for your future. I can't say the same on my side of the fence. False start, by the way, on the offense, setting the ball back 5 yards. The Giants.
Not even the fact that there's more hope, but there's just less questions.
It's a fair point. In your case, you have a quarterback.
Saleh is not getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't. I don't think you can guarantee that about Judge. I mean, he's probably going to be brought on, but you can't. I don't think you can say he's staying for sure.
I think he's going to stay. This is not a team that makes rash changes.
I think so too. No, I think so too. Yeah. But if you really put all your money on one of the two coaches to absolutely be coming back next year, Saleh gets the nod.
Yeah. But I mean, they're going to look at this from is Gettleman gone? Probably. Okay, fine. Garrett was gone. Okay, fine. But they have no cap space. They have no structure, no stability. And this is the sad thing. I didn't expect this to actually kind of trend a little bit, not trend, but pick up the slack that this team did on Twitter yesterday. But I actually asked the question, what is the over-under on the New York Rangers scoring more points than the Giants? And by God, it apparently picked up and took off a little bit. It was on the Streampunk Twitter. And I asked this as a regular comment, and all of a sudden people were like, dude, they were coming back to it later. It's like, you actually predicted this, right? I'm like, oh my God, I hate the fact that I did. But the Devils and the Rangers both scored more points yesterday than the New York Giants did. I mean, Christ, man. But
it's really funny.
It was so, like I said, it was just, they were so.
Okay, here, let's throw this out.
Please.
Going into next season, do the Giants have the absolute biggest question quarterback in the NFL? All things considered.
I'm going to say no. If they go hardcore, and it looks like they are, in the direction of Daniel Jones, I don't think he's the answer, but I don't think it's his fault entirely. He's just not protected well. The running back situation's a question mark. There's a lot of questions there. I don't think he is the biggest.
Plus, he was taken way too high in the draft.
Well, that's part of it too. I mean, again, this means that they're not getting Russell Wilson.
Not even him. No, not even. Not even Daniel Jones specifically, but just the whole quarterback situation with the Giants, being his health, the player himself anyway, who the backup is, what the quarterbacks in the draft are, the free agents. Going through the league, I mean, I can't think of a team quarterback-wise going into next season that's overall. I mean, maybe Vikings, because this is the last year on his contract. I mean, who's better, Daniel Jones or Kellen Mond? I mean, that's at this point. I really
Jones has had good. He's had good games. He's earned the name Danny Dimes in right situations, but only when he has the time and he's not being pressured. Out of the pocket, his percentage drops royally. When he's in the pocket, though, he actually is a really good, really effective quarterback, mostly. But again, it's getting that protection that he doesn't have and the line doesn't have. And it hurts a little bit, like I said, as a Giants fan for now spanning, God help me, 5 decades at this point, to see what this team has become. On the one plus side, my karma rating on Reddit has gone up heavily as I sit there and continue to bitch about the team because everybody upvotes it. Misery loves company.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
All right, so Baker's got it again, 27-yard line, first down and 10 under center. And one of the things that I thought about with Baker, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. I've mentioned before, obviously he has, at home with Baker Mayfield and all those commercials and everything, Chubb takes off. Cross midfield, Chubb is actually down to the 41-yard line. Good job by Nick Chubb on that. I'm so glad I didn't play you today in fantasy football. I wonder if part of the reason why I've noticed something curious about a lot of the commercials that these athletes are playing in. If you ever look at the commercials that Gronkowski is in, or the ones for like Jake from State Farm that they have with Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, they're all in one room. Right. You see the Gronk ones all the time. The Gronk one, he sits there with his phone like this, cue card in front of him. If he's talking to somebody, when he's talking, they only have the camera on him because they can set up a cue card in front of him. Watch the Progressive commercials, the at home with right. They have so many setups on each one of those that they're doing 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 different 6 different locations in the stadium. That takes time, not just from crew, sure, but from him as well, because they got to move him, they got to readjust him on every single one of them. Every other commercial by every other athlete, they plop him and say go. I think that is distracting him from being a more effective quarterback because there's too many setups in those commercials.
Yeah, no, I mean, how many commercials has it been now? It's like a considerable amount.
Yeah.
I think just the whole overall filming, it takes an incredible amount of time. I think they do maybe more than one commercial like worth of shooting in a day. They'll shoot scenes from multiple commercials, probably just based on how they have the commercial set up and whatever. But I just think it's taking. I don't want to say it's taking film time away because I don't know what he does in his personal time. But it's definitely got to be a major distraction.
Oh yeah, and again, like I said, you look at how base the other commercials are. You park the guy down, he reads a cue card if he has to or memorizes it, but he doesn't have movement. Maybe at most he stands up, but they stay sedentary. He's moving, he's walking, they're doing actions. All that stuff takes a long time. And probably these commercials easily could take 2 or even 3 days to do each. So
easily.
But
I think we've talked before about how long it takes for a commercial to be filmed, even if it's the most minute.
Oh yeah.
Clip of acting. It could be literally just walking across your kitchen and putting a mug on the table, and that's 5 hours in a day.
Friggin' A right.
Like it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
But I mean, right now, Baker May is.
And another thing with especially with the. Yeah, say that again.
No, go ahead. I think you and I are on a delay of a couple seconds here. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 7. Though. But Baker is 1 for 5 for 20 yards. Right he had the one pass, but they're going to go for it on 4th and 7 inside the 40. And 5 minutes left, and the ball is batted at the line of scrimmage, and down he goes. Baker is 1 for 6 for 20 yards. They turn the ball over, and now have the ball on the 37-yard line. Whoops.
Oh man, and he got hit.
Yep. Yeah. There's been a lot of talk that maybe Baker Mayfield is losing control of that team. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if they cut him next year. Pay him out, take the cap hit.
Well, what? He's on one more year.
One more season. Yeah, $18 million next year. But
they probably bring him back another year.
Maybe. But he's got 15 touchdowns and 11 interceptions this season. That's not what you want out of a fourth-year quarterback when you're expecting to win 11 games. And right now you're only at 7.
And already knocked out of the playoffs.
And out of the playoffs, yeah. So you're 7. I'm sorry, I said 7-7. I meant 7-8. But yeah, right now he's got 20 passing yards. Yeah, that's not what you're paying this man for. But yeah, they had one penalty right now for 5 yards. 0 for 2 on third down, 0 for 4 on over 1 on fourth down. Yeah, so Landry had the one catch for 20 yards. Chubb had his two rushes for 30 yards. But Baker's 1 for 6 for 20. Granted, Ben Roethlisberger is 4 for 6 for 8 yards. So still better numbers than Mike Glennon put up.
Yeah, but that's bad. Well, when you're, 5th all time in yards, you can basically the last game of your career. You can afford to have a slow start.
His family's there too, do they? Understand?
Yeah, they showed it before. Well, all the burgers.
To his credit, he's turned his personal life around. It was a little rough, touch and go for the first few years there.
And that was amidst winning the Super Bowls.
Yep. And again, his record is 24-3-1 all time against the Browns. Show him trying to make a tackle.
Aaron Rodgers with the Bears. I'd say he owns this team.
Mm-hmm. Then he showed Roethlisberger making a tackle against on a fumble. 5:28 left in the first quarter. First down and 10. And then quick handoff on a shotgun, and that's going to go pretty much nowhere. Picks up maybe 2 or little second effort, third effort, and I think it was Najee Harris picks up about 5 on that. Credit there.
Yesterday with the Vikings and Packers, that repeat immaculate reception.
Yes. I love that. Man. Go ahead first. I'll get you caught up.
You know me with my big man TDs. But just, oh, man, what an athletic play. What a great play. I was so excited watching that.
Dude, and I think that was one of the longest plays they had from scrimmage. Both tipped and caught by a lineman who rumbled, and whenever a lineman has the ball and just runs with it, it's automatic.
He got the first down.
He did, and he
got like 15 yards on it.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny.
It was incredible.
There was one guy from
Ran
Florida
like a
fullback. Passes deep and overthrown. Wanted a flag, but probably not going to get one. But it was funny because there was a guy from Florida that was bitching me. I was like, "How are you not reacting to this? Didn't you not see this thing? Did you not see what I just did here?" There's a 50-year-old guy from Florida. I was like, longtime Viking fan, moved down there, and he was bitching me out because he thought I wasn't reacting, to the fact that immaculate reception catch. Like, that was the funniest friggin' thing I've seen all night.
I think it's my favorite play all year.
I think so.
Even more than the big man TDs. Because, you could set up a big man TD.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to have that situation, that probably, we said that about the immaculate reception, but, overall, that's probably not happening again.
And what's funny about it is linemen are usually not typically that aware of the ball itself because they have such a specific responsibility. So his awareness to see that, come down, snatch it, and then just take off running with it, He's in the record. He's in the statistical books now as a receiver. No matter what happens the rest of his life, he is always in Football Reference for that. So, third down and 10, 3:40 left.
Center too.
What's that?
Center too.
So, stumbles forward, but I think Najee Harris. They're signaling him short on this third down run. It's the 41-yard line. I'd imagine they're going to go for it on fourth down at the 41. It's not like Baker at fourth and 7.
Yeah.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah. It's probably short.
They've only had 8 conversions on fourth down, which is tied for the second lowest in the NFL this season. But I think they're going to get this. Crowd's apparently all crazy about this at the moment. 2:56 left. And across the middle, and I believe he got it. It's fullback handoff, too. We don't see fullbacks getting too often.
Not with this team, anyway.
Yep. Officially called first down. So far, a relatively quick first quarter. Not too bad. Half an hour in at this point. Yesterday started so freaking slow, too, man.
Oh, with which game? With Minnesota?
Yeah. It took like 40 minutes, and it took 40 minutes to get halfway through the first quarter, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to make this game today. Didn't drink any coffee, and I should have.
That's crazy.
Quick snap, and quick drop, loss for a yard. Clock is going to continue to run, so this will probably be the last drive of the first quarter here.
Wait, hold on. Let me look up his name. On the Browns. What number is he? I think 41 or whatever. It's Taki.
I was going to say Taki and Delpit are the two I know the most. Incomplete, no flag. Deep down the sideline. Go ahead.
Taki, there's an endorsement deal right there.
Yeah, right? Both of them going for it. That's not really pass interference on that. You always want it when you're on the offense, but in that case, I can't give it to you. Third down and 10. So depends if they go for it on fourth down here. Because if it's an incomplete pass at fourth down and 10, I'm not sure they're going to want to try and go for it.
Yeah, they were just running up against each other. He wasn't holding them or anything.
Yeah. Picked up at 6 and that's going to set up a fourth down at about 4. Yeah. And again, it's decision time. Fourth down and 4. Do you try and kick the 52-yarder or do you go for it?
No, you go for it.
Obi would want you to go for it no matter what. Joe Judge would have you punt in this case.
That's right. Yeah, he would.
Oh, God. Jay Feely. You remember that name.
I know Robert Saleh would go for it.
If you remember Jay Feely from his time with the Jets, Jay Feely crushed the Giants yesterday in their decision-making. It was actually straight up hilarious. Just in the decisions and what they were doing, and it was an amazing breakdown. I really didn't know how much about him as a tipped incomplete. Another turnover on downs already. But it was interesting to see I didn't know what he brought to the table as a broadcaster, but by God, I'd love to see him again.
Yeah.
So far, a relatively sluggish game first quarter.
Should have been kind of intercepted.
Yeah,
probably
off the hands. But Big Ben only has 19 passing yards today. Uh, 43 seconds left.
And what, Baker has 20?
Baker has 20, yeah. But Baker has more passing yards this quarter than Big Ben does. Yeah, they have a combined 39 passing yards. Handoff.
Have anybody in fantasy going this week?
I'm in the low end. I already won mine actually, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm in that low end losers bracket where all the other people that are playing don't bother to look at it anymore.
Right.
So I'm kind of just like, whatever. But I set it up. I won. Big deal. Dude, honestly, there's no money in it at this point. I've already accepted my loss. I missed the playoffs by like that much too.
Tom Brady, man in the arena. New episode tomorrow.
Yeah, how do you make like an 18? What is it? Tipped and nearly not intercepted, but it does bring up a 3rd down and 6. Watt again, by the way. Damn, he's been good. How do you make Tom Brady?
I don't know if you saw. No, say that 8. Say it again.
Yeah, Tom Brady. That's an 8-part series, right?
I actually don't know. I haven't gone to watch it yet.
I'm surprised you would.
You know what? I actually watched that Tom vs. Time that came on Facebook. I actually watched all of that.
3rd down and 6. Baker 1 for 7 for 20 yards. And down he goes for his first sack. Flag on the play. It might be a hold. But last play of the first quarter, and they're going to have to punt again. And it's Watt again. Let's see what the flag is, though, first before we break on this. And illegal shift.
On 56.
On the defense. So, yep, 4th down. So now, technically, with that sack, illegal shift, they're showing Landry, so it might have been him. But that sack drops them down about 7 yards, which means his overall passing yards today is currently 13 or so. Oy.
Yeah, illegal motion.
Yeah. And we'll probably have another, during this commercial break, we'll probably have another At Home with Baker Mayfield commercial.
Where I got to see Trevor Lawrence hair blown in the wind.
No, right now we have Lily from AT&T.
Okay. Has she got a reboot?
She kind of did, But if you ever noticed, by and large, well, yeah, she was gone for a while, then came back, and then rarely do they ever show the lower half of her body. So
they have, as of late.
Well, it's been a little bit of an outcry about that, but they haven't really done much there. Let's see. We've got a CW series.
Who's got a great gig that nobody talks about? That Toyota woman.
I noticed that, yeah. Same basic setup every time.
She's really cashed that gig in.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the Lily and Flo auto industry.
Well, here's the thing about Flo. You have so many. It's like its own Flowiverse. You got Flo, and I know there's Jamie, and then Sullen Girl, whatever her name is. It's like so you got this entire freaking universe going on right now.
It's the multiverse of Flo.
Dude, it's like it. I don't
Flo
know if you ever
actually,
saw it, but
actually the notable alumni of my high school.
Flo is your.
Yep. Yep. I'm proud to say I went to the same high school as Flo.
Nice. How many years back though, or
she must have graduated early 2000s.
Still
maybe even late
anyway.
90s.
Still makes me feel old anyway. Obi's 30-year high school reunion is this year. Mine's next year. Flo. Yeah. Let's see. Flo Progressive. What's your name?
Stephanie something.
Yeah, Stephanie Courtney from Stony Point. There we go. She's 51. Okay, I don't feel so bad right now.
She's 51?
Apparently, according to Wikipedia, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So then she graduated.
She turns 52 next month, too.
That's insane.
Yeah. She's married to a guy who's, and I'm not joking about this, spelled differently, but his name is Scott Kolanach, which I guess that's Kolanach. You can say that's Kolanach.
Wait, say this. Wait, spell it again. Let me write this down.
Yeah. Kol.
Okay.
Kolanach. I mean, it's probably Kolanach, I guess, but you could interpret that as Kolanach.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's probably how I would pronounce it.
Yeah. Wow. Let's see. Stony Point, New York. What other
Yep,
notable
Stony
people do
Point.
you have? John Cage. I
Not
got
really
10 pin.
anybody else.
Let's see. You got 10 pin bowler. That's cool. You got
Who?
you have a woman that was a 10 pin bowler, PWBA title holder. Congratulations.
Great.
You also you had somebody in American Murder on the FBI's most wanted list, 10 most wanted list.
Eugene.
Eugene Palmer, yeah.
Yeah, our boy Eugene.
Yeah, I thought my town was the only one that had like obscure murderers in it. And Danielle McEwen, whatever her name is. But anyway, first down and 10. So Big Ben is starting to pick up pace a little bit for the start of the second quarter.
You know,
Roll it. Go ahead.
it really bothers me with the Steelers helmets that they don't have the logo on both sides. And it's a
would you
stupid
rather have that
thing to
both
be
sides or
going
not at all?
about, but I just appreciate the symmetry of it.
I can understand that part of it. Would you rather have none at all or both only?
You know, you go
Yeah.
both. I'm not a fan of no logos.
So what the Browns have right now, where they literally
On
have
their
no logo
helmets.
on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't hate this. Here's the thing. I don't hate this Browns. Oh, go ahead. Pass over the middle.
No, I don't hate it either. Because it's always been their thing. So it's kind of just been engraved.
This Browns jersey, I don't mind. But they got that really like weird dirt brown one that I really think it reminds me of like the old SCLSU Mud Dogs jersey from the Waterboy.
Go Mud Dogs.
Yeah, I didn't get that one for Christmas. That jersey, unfortunately, I'm very disappointed there.
Those are nice jerseys. The what bowl?
Yeah,
it's a nice jersey.
I did get a couple jerseys this Christmas. I didn't get that one though. Also, I got to admit, I got a little bobblehead too.
I know you showed me that. I'm jealous.
Dude, I'm so excited by this.
I
He just hangs out over here next to me. So put him right there. There you go. So Roethlisberger over the middle, second down and 5, picks up the first down, and now inside the 40, down to about 35-yard line, maybe 36. Now the Steelers are starting to make this stuff happen. But again, like I said, there's no way in hell this team is going to lose today.
Cooking with gas a little bit here.
What's that?
I said cooking with gas a little bit here.
Exactly. So, and who knows what's going to happen.
I mean, they really seem to be relying on Najee Harris.
And I think you should. You know,
I mean the receivers aren't doing anything.
Ow. Hard hit on that one. McLeod wants a flag on that for an early hit, but it's not going to happen. But here's the thing with Najee Harris being over 1,000 yards on the season already, it does open up certain things that they can do with the passing game a little bit more. And you're starting to see his numbers increase a little bit. Roethlisberger wanted that flag big time too. Oh, helmet to helmet. What's that?
So am I that behind?
I'll let you know when they snap on the shotgun right here for 2nd and 10. Funny thing is, we're actually on a delay right now on Twitch as well. Snap is there. So throw over the top, complete, and nope, drop. Never mind.
Honestly, I just think that was a perfectly timed hit.
Oh yeah, I think so. But I think they were arguing about a helmet to helmet on that.
I didn't see from the replay. I was just looking at the timing of it.
That ball went in and out of the hands of Johnson. He should have caught that. That would have set up a third down and 2. That should have been.
Nobody can catch a pass tonight.
I wonder if this is a factor a little bit last night initially too. If the extreme cold is making the ball harder to catch. Just a theory.
Yeah, but you got to catch that.
Oh no, I don't disagree. That's your job to do. This is Pittsburgh.
Ruining Ben's home game, Johnson.
And flags all over the place right after the play is done. only picked up 3 or 4 yards, and flags up, and a shoe apparently is down.
Shoe.
There's a shoe with the Nike logo. There's an Air Jordan right there. Let's see. Want to pick up one shoe? Yep.
Bro, why did he do that? Why did he just launch his shoe?
Dude, you throw his
What
shoe.
the hell?
You throw his shoe. See, that's a personal foul right there. I don't know what you describe that. I mean, unsportsmanlike conduct, I guess.
I wouldn't even say unnecessary rough. That's just unnecessary.
No, it's not. I mean, it's
Speaking of unnecessary, did you see this video? Yeah, it's got to be unsport. Yeah, he just launches. Was that Clowney?
Yeah,
that was a Clowney ass play. That was a clown play,
dude. But here's the problem: that was 4th down, and now it's a fresh set of downs and 15 yards closer. This
the shoe. Okay, so the cleat came off in the midst of a tackle, and then he was just like, "All right, cool,
go get it yourself."
Yeah. Did you see the video yesterday? Yeah, did you see the video yesterday with Jalen Hurts running off the field, and these fans the rail collapsed?
Yep.
Did you watch that cameraman? Did you see him kick the guy?
I don't remember seeing that one. No, did I miss that? Shit, I felt embarrassed if I did.
No, so
I know those problems.
So, you pull up. So you watch that. Yeah, so the rail collapsed, and this guy in the black sweatshirt. I mean, he collapsed hard, like he hit his head on the ground. And Jalen Hurts, he's the first guy that Jalen Hurts picks up to see if he's okay. Mm-hmm. And the photographer who is sitting at the base of those stands must have gotten hit when all collapsed. Mm-hmm. So he kicked this guy. And I watched this, and I watched it 3 times just to really understand if there was any justification with this. Mm-hmm. And I gotta tell you, this guy should be fired.
You'll probably get disciplined for something like that. Maybe at the very least a suspension. And there's your first touchdown of the game. Pass touchdown, by the way. So Ben Roethlisberger on his very possibly last home game at Heinz Field picks up the first score of the game with a 5-yard touchdown to Deontay Johnson. And that is the way you want this first half to go. Anyway, go ahead.
No, and just thinking about why is he kicking this one guy as if he had planned this whole thing to happen? He didn't push the rail over. He wasn't the only one who fell.
Dude, people full well are more angry than they ever been. This is a hostile freaking country, man. I see sometimes on Reddit people are like, should I move to the United States? I live in New Zealand. I'm like, no, just stay over there. You want to adapt to the anger and the hate that we got over here, man.
Nah, just save yourself.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, not right now. Probably after you leave, second half usually is when the numbers start to pick up a little bit. But it's funny because that's when usually I start getting a lot of people from overseas that are up in the middle of the night, and they're like, so I don't understand this, and this. Mm-hmm. I don't remember if you were there, if that was you or JD, or there was one kid in London who's like, my mother's going to kill me if she finds out I'm awake right now.
No, that must have been JD.
Okay. Or it might actually just been me and Obi.
We got Australia.
Okay, we had the Australia guy. The Australia guy who hated Guns N' Roses.
He hates Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, we had the British kid, and also at the same time we also had somebody from I think Argentina who didn't speak any English. Thank God for JD, by the way, whose Spanish is pretty solid. He was able to actually translate for this kid and back and forth.
I would have done some translating on the phone.
Dude, I appreciated that. I was so happy he was there to do that. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe the kid eventually turned on his auto translate, but for a while there, it's like JD had to, was explaining, U.S. football to this kid.
Right.
So much of the international base on it. So much of the show is an international base just because of the fact that people are like, oh, you're covering football? We don't have that here.
It's true. We got to broaden our horizons.
Indeed.
Take this show international.
Well, we got soccer coming up. We got, let's say, Manchester. We're working on some stuff there. MLS is starting next month with CONCACAF, so that'll be both here, remote, and probably in stadium. I got to figure out some things in there. Dude, they're showing. Oh God, they're showing subs. It looks like a decent sub steak there. I don't know what that was. It's like a ground beef and cheese. I don't know what it wasn't. A Philly cheesesteak, but it was nice.
I don't. I'm hungry.
I got notified by the doctor after the blood test. He's like, so we're going to recommend a high fiber, high fruit diet for you exclusively. You know, the way he put it to me, he's like, if it tastes good, you can no longer eat it. And I'm like, fuck.
So funny.
It's like, dude, I'm down 25 pounds. I look better. And he's like, yeah, we don't care about that. Your numbers are shit. So I got to get the numbers tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure like my A1C is probably like 9. Who would have thought living on a complete diet of deli meat and ice cream would be bad for you? Yeah.
So much sodium.
That's the problem too. But so kickoff is short in this case, inside the 5-yard line, taken out across the 15, across the 20, and down at the 23-yard line. So Baker comes back out again. And they're doing some kind of a parody on The Office right now with quality PlayStation 2 graphics here. Yeah, kids are not going to get a reference. Okay, kids are not going to get a reference to The Office or the fact that Kevin dropped an entire bowl of chili in that episode.
I know.
So, and by the way, that didn't really look like chili, more like just diarrhea, really. Yeah. Obi, can you live tweet
that's not even an accurate. That just looks like pizza sauce.
It kind of did, yeah. You know, I mean, they're 4-11 in the last game, still 11 games and everything like that.
Plus, we spilled way more than that.
And also, you know, if you want to be anal about the episode of The Office, he slips in it too. You know, because some people were ridiculed on television.
I forgot what channel it was on, or what the show even was. Show that's like starting at this month or whatever.
Incomplete 39.
One of the clips of the critics was like, they go, it's going to be the next Office. And I was like, I can promise you every single dollar I'll ever make the rest of my life will not be The Office. I can promise.
I think it was American Auto. I was looking at some of the ads for that. It might have been that one.
Yeah, it might have been that one. Oh God.
I've lost interest in so many sitcoms.
Some of these. And then what's the one where they like own a wine bar? Like, come on, bro.
Is that that might be Always Sunny? And incomplete pass, fourth and 9. That it was a 3rd down and 9. He threw it 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, you got to throw deep. God, Baker is not doing the answer for those guys.
That's an old Jets move,
dude. He's on 3rd and 9.
You need 9 yards.
He throws it.
You need 9 yards. Throw it behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and he's not going to be able to.
And hope your rookie wide receiver can block the entire defense.
Dude, you're in a borderline. You're going up against a borderline prevent defense. You're making your wide receiver have to run 13 or 14 yards. You know, take a shot.
They want Baker to throw the ball.
Well, he did technically. Punt down to the 24-yard line, and picks up about 11 on that. Not bad. What were we just talking about? I forgot.
I don't remember. I got all sidetracked.
I don't either.
On these shows. These TV shows.
You know, at this point for me, it's basically just YouTube, you know, stuff on Hulu, older stuff on Hulu, like 90s, 2000s comedies, and One Piece. That's like all I ever watch now. Yeah. I just can't.
We try and do a great job of finding new shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like we
And
never
Cobra
really
Kai.
watched the same show twice, even on reruns. Or always watch something new. I don't know. It's like the only shows that I would really rewatch and like actually be like, yeah, okay, I'll sit down and watch this again would be like, like yeah, like early 2000 comedies, like Everybody Loves Raymond, King of Queens, like all
Yeah.
those.
30 Rock,
That's
I've
what I
got
grew
going.
up.
Scrubs, I got going right now. So, but
You
yeah, I
got
can't get
Gronk.
into a lot of the
You got
newer stuff.
Gronk yelling at this.
Yeah, actually, you have Gronk on yours? I don't think I had Gronk on mine.
No, I just had Gronk before.
Okay, now get another commercial for Buick GMC of Mawa. Hmm. I will say
Drive
this though:
past
of
it all
the
the
shows
time.
that I watch, the shows that are out right now, Cobra Kai is one of them. Damn straight, I will plow through that in a day.
My parents are oddly all into Cobra Kai.
No shit.
Yep.
Uh, we will be discussing it at length tomorrow on Tales from the Film Set over on Zingo TV channel 250. Spoilers will be abound as all four of us have seen it and all four of us have opinions. But yeah, I plowed through that one pretty damn fast. And they've already wrapped season 5. I have some theories about that, but they'll probably have it, I don't know, late summer, August, September, I'm thinking. So, all right. Ben Roethlisberger is back again. They're showing a snap to pass time, 1.8 seconds on that one. On this one, yeah, short underneath, 1.9 seconds, under 2 seconds for all these passes. 1.1 second on the touchdown pass. So it's just
Blink of an
snap and
eye.
throw. Let me ask you a question as they're getting ready to get under center here. Assuming this is his last season in Pittsburgh, who do they go with next year?
Well, who do they have backing up?
Haskins is over there, I think.
Oh God. No, I'm done with him.
I mean, do you go after Russell Wilson?
Yeah. I think that makes more sense than the Giants going after Russell Wilson. I would absolutely, if I'm the Steelers, go for Russell Wilson
Mm-hmm.
or Aaron Rodgers.
It's funny. I saw a
I
picture of
said
that the
even
other day.
Cleveland should look at Aaron Rodgers.
But would Aaron Rodgers look at Cleveland is the question. Snap,
Possibly.
sack and fumble. Go ahead.
Possibly.
I don't know. I think he's going to want to go to if Aaron Rodgers is going to continue himself. I think he's going to go to a place where he can win a Super Bowl in theoretically a warmer environment. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh's not fit for granted.
Yeah, he
San
recovered it.
Francisco, possibly.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. I mean,
But
who
then
knows?
do they want to get rid of Trey Lance, who just had a good game?
You know what? If Aaron Rodgers is willing to come to your town, you consider it. Yeah. I mean, you give even if you get like 2 years out of him, that adds so much credibility and so many tickets to that. Third down and 16, but over the middle and short. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, maybe Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. I don't see that.
I'm also, I guess that's why I said maybe, and you saw the veins pop out of my neck. Maybe. It's like I don't know. Could you possibly go with New Orleans? I mean, they don't have enough quarterbacks as it is.
Well, that's another team there that would be going after Russell Wilson too.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got Winston, you've got Taysom Hill, you got Ian Book, you got who's the other one I'm missing right now?
I don't even know.
There's a fourth quarterback in there too. I'm drawing a line up because they went with Ian Book because he was the fourth choice the other night.
Book, Hill,
Jameis Winston. Scheisse. Well, technically they have Blake Bortles now too. But
oh yeah, Bortles.
Portals.
That's so funny.
I don't know if Bortles got a start yet, or I started playing yet.
I don't think he played at all.
This season. Oops. Current roster. Yeah, Ian Book, Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian. That was the name I was thinking.
Oh, Siemian. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, that's Alvin Kamara's team until it's not. Again, you have a team that's in a bit of a disarray because even before they went with Ian Book or Bortles, they reached out to Philip Rivers and Drew Brees, and both of them were like, no, we're done.
Drew, come back. We need you.
Probably, yeah. I would love to have seen what that conversation must have been like and what they must have offered him on that. Speaking of Flo from Progressive, it's Flo from Progressive and Flo in a blonde wig with a kid. Like I said, the Flowiverse.
I can't believe she's 51.
Yeah, I can see it there a little bit, but
now I can see it. Now that you've pointed it out. Now that you've instantly made me see like wrinkles all over her.
Dude, as you can see, like basically the skin in my neck is starting to like, I mean, I could probably try and pull a little something like this here if I had to, but. Do you ever notice as they have a commercial for Sing 2 right now? Do you ever notice that when they're talking about Rotten Tomatoes, they use the audience score not the critic score anymore? Because it used to be like,
don't know what they're talking. No, like imagine being a movie critic though.
Mm-hmm. I've sort of been one with independent films. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you don't sit down. You don't sit down and actually criticize the most unimportant, or like it's just so irrational. Like I remember reading, I forgot even where it was or who did this review on the latest Godzilla King Kong movie, and they were talking about the character development. The plot didn't move fast enough. Like, bro, do you not want to see huge CGI monsters tear a city up? Like, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Stop trying to Yeah, it's like stop trying to overanalyze it.
Yeah, it's like leave your brain at the door and you know what you're getting into.
They're not making that movie with intent to be this great all-time transcendent piece of cinema.
Well,
like they just want to tear some shit up with CGI monsters. We're in for that. We don't care about the characters or the plot.
And when you're a movie critic, you have to tear shit up basically about why it's wrong.
Oh, God.
And it sucks.
The only thing worse than movie critics are art critics.
Try being an independent film critic.
Yeah,
I will tell you straight up, basically, you're sitting there watching these movies and you're just like, I'm a big proponent of the Good Try Award. That's all what they're going for. I didn't think it was that bad. And meanwhile, basically, they would all take my ratings and drop them by 3 points to be like, this is what we would really rate this. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm done with it. I did it like for 4 years. I'm like, I'm not doing this shit anymore.
Renegade.
Yep. Pass over middle and intercepted. So Baker Mayfield has technically 2 completions, but only 1 to his own team. Oh, God, dude. Baker, my man. Yeah.
Was it like a terrible?
It wasn't a bad pass. It wasn't a terrible pass. But, I mean, it was pretty much guaranteed to be intercepted that way. But yeah, he is 1 for 10 for 20 yards and a pick. That is a straight 0 QB rating.
Man, he's only completed 1 more pass than we have tonight.
And he's still 3 passes completion short of Mike Glennon last night. So,
no, that was short. That was way too short of a throw. That's why it was undercut.
Passing. 20 yards, 0 TDs, 1 INT.
I don't think he's strong enough to be throwing across his body.
No, And that ball was almost, it could have been intercepted as well, thrown deep over the top. But again, Baker is owed $18 million next year. Good
I mean,
pass.
it's kind of like the Matt Ryan thing. Like, you're paying him so much, like you can't afford not to have him be the starter. Like, it's too much invested.
Exactly. But unfortunately, in this case, you got to make a decision about whether you're going to cut ties with him again with what's coming up in the draft next year. Maybe a fresh start will work. Najee Harris, by the way, with a great pickup on 2nd down and 10, picks up about 14 on that. Now inside the 30 with almost 6.5 left. Maybe a fresh start would work for him. You put Baker. I don't know. Cleveland's kind of a small market. Where would he go? Atlanta?
Well, first you would have to accept what kind of quarterback he is. Is he a game manager? I mean, a glorified game manager at this point. Baker. I mean, what is he? He's because at this rate, he's not going to single-handedly, take you over the top or be able to carry the team on his own, on his own shoulders without a lot of help.
And the question is also, is he somebody that can deprogram some of the bad programming that he's had over the last 3 years? Is it too late for that? 28-yard line, 2nd down and 9, by the way.
All I know is Alice Cooper's going to have a new neighbor soon, probably.
Could be. Yeah. Oh, completed. Nice catch. And across the inside the 20, and now for a fresh set of downs there too. I thought he was out of bounds, but apparently he wasn't. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, in this case, at home could be somewhere else entirely.
At home could literally be at home.
Well, it's COVID, quarantine. Now, see, that right there is a Roethlisberger pass, to Friday. To be able to actually just sneak it just in there and do exactly what he needed to do to get that done. And a rollout, too, no less. But 4:50 left, 16-yard line. Snap, shotgun pass, screen pass, and picks up 3 or 4, but out of bounds.
No, that pass to Freiermuth was a perfectly placed ball.
So well timed, amazingly well timed. And plus credit to Freiermuth for being able to stay in bounds there too, because I thought he was going to go out of bounds, but he picked up another 7 or 8 yards there.
There was that one pass Brady had game later on. I think it was the 4th quarter, where he just split the defense. It was like for 15, 20 yards, an inch out of the hands of the defense. They're like, there. It was like, bro. Like, I don't care how good you are. You're not defending that throw.
Incomplete, 3rd and 7.
Second quarter total yards, 83-1.
Yep. And like I said, this is why, no way in hell this team is going to lose.
Overall, I can't see them losing this game.
Yeah, the Browns have a total of 53 yards overall. The Steelers have
next week. I can see them losing.
But the big question,
you had Baltimore just losing to LA yesterday.
But that's a sense of urgency for that team too, and some question marks there. Completed for their first 3rd down reception in this game. Now inside the 5-yard line. Took a hit though.
First 3rd down all game.
Yeah, actually, I think it is overall. Correct. Yeah, first one for either team so far.
Yeah, it is.
And now we're 3:48 left.
Man, this Fort McLeod, he's just getting smacked all over today.
You got to worry about that a little bit too. Now, that's the big benefit in this case to the now 1 spot for a bye. And presumably next week, Aaron Rodgers will probably not be starting, so he'll actually get 2 weeks off And nope, incomplete.
I'm trying to. He might actually, because I don't think they have the number 1 seed lock, or do they?
They do 100% lock. So you maybe give
So maybe
Jordan
they
Love a
will.
shot.
Maybe they will.
I think he's 7 yards short of 4,000 yards for the season. So what they who knows? Maybe they'll throw him in one, complete one pass, send him back out again. But it's a garbage game for them. You know, you can put in Jordan Love, you can see what he's able to do, but you give Aaron Rodgers a break.
Yeah, they do get home field.
Yeah, throughout.
Yep.
Yeah, with the Cowboys losing yesterday.
Yeah. I forgot about that. So it's just. I was saying it said Pittsburgh can make the playoffs winning today, winning next week, and then they said the Chargers and Raiders can't end in a tie.
And the Colts have to lose. So presumably,
and the Colts, okay.
I mean, it really what it comes down to, I think, in this case, and I think you'll agree with me, the Colts lose, the Steelers win, they're in. The odds of a second tie, you know, this season's highly unlikely.
Yeah, that's the tie I don't even worry about.
Yeah. Now, it'd be one of those things that is basically injury down, right now, player down right now, not even moving either.
Hyperextended knee.
There's been a lot of injuries this year, man. Dude. Yeah, these players are getting bigger, they're getting stronger, they're getting tougher. I don't care what the NFL does as far as padding goes, it's not enough.
Yeah, it looked like hyperextended knee. Let's see. Who does everybody play next week? Are they all division games? Yeah.
They pretty much all are, yeah.
Yeah, they're all division games. Cool. All right, so then, yeah. You think Aaron Rodgers? You think? Let's say Jordan Love plays. You think he's going to lose to the Lions?
No, because it's not Jordan Love versus the Lions. It's the Packers versus the Lions. And I think in this case, you have to assume that part of it because they are going to be starting certain players, at least giving some, some motivation to some of them. You know,
I think 2 weeks off is a lot.
Added for a couple drives. Well, Lazard for a couple drives. Go ahead.
I think having 2 weeks off is a lot.
You've got to worry about that a little. In this case, depending on what you do, 3 weeks. Well, actually, no, 2 weeks. I'm sorry. Let me scratch that. So 2 weeks there, 3 weeks overall, depending for Aaron Rodgers. But you have to worry a little bit about that aspect of it if they're going to come out sluggish. But I think some of the players will get some time next week. A little
1, 2. Yeah, so it would be 3 weeks for Rodgers. Yeah.
Yeah, just shy of 3 weeks.
I don't know. That's a lot.
It is a lot. You know, and you have to adjust. And you see a lot of times teams come out of that break very sluggish for the first couple of drives. I don't think Green Bay will be one of those teams, though. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers will be one of those quarterbacks.
Maybe he plays the first half.
Maybe first drive. Incomplete, fourth down. Okay. Maybe the first quarter, but definitely the first drive, I think. But you got a veteran quarterback who's very, very good at home for his career. You have to factor that into the equation.
I think they're in Detroit.
Yeah, they are. Which means the cold won't be a factor either. Jared Goff having a tough season.
Yeah, they'll be all right. I think they'll be all right. Yeah.
If it was a team, if it wasn't the Lions, I might say something different, but it's the Lions. So, kick is up, and it's through, and now 10-0. So you said 27-21. I said 25-12. And so far on pace for either one of them, easily enough.
I mean, you need some type of safety, right? Don't you?
Well, go for it on As they go for it on a 2-point conversion.
Well, or if you just miss a field goal, or miss an extra point or something.
I just
And
felt
you're
like
just-
for whatever
it's
reason,
possible.
I just decided for whatever reason to be like, you know what? Let's go with some really obscure numbers here. So,
Let's make it interesting.
dude, you know what? Why not? I always loved actually doing that anyway. Just have something really obscure, like a 32 to like, I don't know, 8.
Ben, your pants are inside out. He's putting on sweatpants.
Is he done? That can't be done.
No, I think it's a warm thing. I want one of those jackets so bad.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like
It's cold
that's
today.
it's so warm.
It's cold today. I was surprised. What's the weather over there? It's currently 26 degrees, so it's actually far better than it was in Green Bay last night.
Plus, like heaters over there too.
Yeah, but still, it's a little raw. Well, last night in Green Bay, it started at 10 degrees and dropped down to about 5 before wind chill. Yeah. You see Mike Zimmer, you see Michael, you see LaFleur, and both of them are just like red across the face. Massive windburn. Yeah. Just across the 20, 2:57 left. Baker comes back out and onto the field, so we have to see what happens here. Colts are 9-7, Chargers are 9-7, Ravens are 8-8, Steelers are 7-7,
And 1.
Yeah, the Raiders too. You got to think about the Raiders.
How are the Titans the number 1 seed?
Dude,
As of right now.
Here's what it is. To me, the better question is how are the number 1 seed having lost Derrick Henry since October?
That's crazy.
You know,
so that Raiders Chargers game is for the wild card spot.
Yeah. Chargers and Raiders cannot end in a tie. Colts have to lose against the Jaguars on the road. That's going to be a tough one. Yeah, you got to face facts. That's going to be tough to do.
It's not impossible.
No, but it's all going to come out of Jonathan Taylor. You know, that team, last night I think last day was the first time that they lost a game where Jonathan Taylor ran for 100 yards. So you got to look at it from that perspective. Baker with a rollout on a 2nd 8, rolling, throws it into the stands or into the sideline, and now 3rd down and 8. You realize if this was Cleveland, they'd be booing him right now.
Probably.
Oh, Baker. Actually, I'm starting to feel bad for you in some weird way.
Say it again.
I'm starting to feel bad for him in some way. Browns offense on pass, 0.8 yards per pass. Oh, Christmas.
Is that even per completion?
That's
No, because only...
the one, yeah. So he's back to pass again and scramble, and still on his run. He completed it. It's a completion and a 1st down for Baker Mayfield. Good job.
1 completion a quarter. That's great.
Yeah, 2-minute warning too. Pass. I think it's Jarvis.
Why does he do these spin outs that are like against the grain? Not even the going across, against your body, the opposite side. But the way he spun out, he did that the last drive or the drive before that too. I noticed on the interception. It's the interception.
Maybe he just spins a little faster that way. He gets back into position slightly faster, or I don't know. Maybe he wants to look cool.
He's like, "Oh, spin." I'll throw him off by spinning.
Derek Carr now tying into a Rocket Mortgage commercial.
That doesn't even. Nah, that's just Rocket Mortgage being like, "Yo, NFL, can we get some of your footage for our commercial?"
Pretty much, yeah. What B-roll can we pull from?
Yeah, we'll be. Yeah.
What B-roll can we pull from? And then let's have these random people here sit at a table, and you're approved. Yay! Only a 5.6% DPR, daily percentage rate. Yeah. Speaking of the Toyotathon lady you were talking about before.
She's got a commercial.
Yeah. And now it's Eli wearing brown shoes with a blue suit. I guess that actually kind of works.
Oh my God, that's my huge biggest fashion pet peeve.
Brown
Blue
shoes
suits, blue
with blue.
suits with brown shoes and like a brown belt.
Supposedly
Absolutely
that can
not.
work. Supposedly that can work, although I don't know.
I hate it.
Brown shoes with brown pants, but if I'm wearing blue or black, it's always got to be black.
It's got to be black. I'm sorry, you can't just throw brown onto this nice navy blue.
Like I said, supposedly you could. I mean, some people could probably pull it off. Eli, I don't think could. They got Patton Oswalt. He probably couldn't pull it off. You got Clyde Drexler and Muggsy Bogues, too. They could probably pull it off. Blue suit and brown shoes.
I just think that combo should be banned.
Did you ever notice when they're showing pictures of Aaron Rodgers, they don't show him with the current hair he has now?
Yeah, actually, I kind of have noticed that.
Yeah, every image that they have, no matter what.
I know that picture has got to be from 5-6 years ago.
Dude, really? He looked it too. But
he looked young in that picture.
Yeah. Well, now he just looks really just weird. He looks like he owns a van, He looks like the kind of guy that would basically invite you over for ice cream and buy your van.
Looks a little disheveled.
Looks
a little disheveled, but it's okay.
Hey, listen, he's getting the job done there anyway. But yeah, he's kind of a skeevy looking dude with all that hair. But then again, I have no hair on the top of my head anyway, so who am I to judge? 3rd down and 7. 140 left. Baker with another couple incomplete passes. Just want to point that out. 34-yard line and a stoppage in play for a flag. Players are signaling it's going to go against the Browns in this case, bringing up a 3rd down and 14. But credit to Baker Mayfield. He is now 2 for 12 for 39 yards and an interception.
Look at that.
Full start on James Hudson.
I mean, he almost, for a while there, he had the same amount of interceptions as completions.
Yeah. But yeah, he's overall has 19 yards passing, including the sacks. 3rd down and 11, they're calling it. Sorry. Receptions tonight. Jarvis Landry, 2. Rest of Browns, 0.
0.
Usually Landry gets the least of any of these receptions lately. He's been the forgotten weapon on offense.
Baker with a nice pickup there. Nice. That was not Landry this time around, but across midfield. Yeah, Peoples-Jones who picked up about 20 on that. Nice pass. And Baker takes another hit though. Yeah, Baker took a rough hit on that, but it's a good pickup.
Yeah, he did get right as he threw that too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, hand off to, I believe it was Johnson right there, who picked up pretty much 0. They got to get something here. If they get the ball to start the second half, and you get 3, you go into halftime at least with something. But Baker Mayfield is now 3 for 14 for 51 yards. Pass completed.
Why aren't you calling me timeout?
Well, they're out of bounds on this one too. I know you're a couple seconds behind it.
Yeah, but you're letting all this. You're not even like in a hurry up.
Well, 49 seconds left and 3 timeouts. You got a little wiggle room. By the way, props to Landry who ran out of bounds and bumped into a guy on the sidelines. And
Yeah, but they're still. Yeah, they just got to midfield though before. I mean.
Well, 3rd down and 2, so it's going to be big on here. I would say go for it. Say screw it, just go for it on 4th down. You're too far away for a field goal, especially with that Pittsburgh wind.
Yeah, no, I agree.
49 yards, snap back, shotgun, pump, and sacked instead. So now it brings them a 4th down, and they're sacked back to the Pittsburgh 48-yard line. Dude, are they going to go for it
TJ
here?
Watt again. Jesus.
Dude, really? The problem with this is now, you're going to have to punt because you can't go for it. This, in this case, with Pittsburgh having all 3 timeouts left.
No way.
You blew the best chance you've had all game. I would almost say you couldn't throw the ball away. It was still in the pocket, but there's a couple players that were available. They might be able to catch something there. Landry, I think Peoples-Jones was one of them. Yeah.
Jones was right there open.
Yeah. Even if it was incomplete, it's still a 4th down and 2. At the 40-yard line, you know what? You take another shot at him, hand it to Chubb, burn a timeout. Hell, you should have done that on 3rd down. But instead, they're punting the ball at the Pittsburgh 47.
Huh?
Yeah. Taking it to 9, across the 15, and down to about the 20-yard line. So, by the way, we also finally have the schedule for this weekend, too, because as of yesterday, we didn't actually have the schedule for next week. Cowboys-Eagles are 8 o'clock Saturday night. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, every time I looked at Bleacher Report, it still had all just Sunday times. It wasn't updated at all.
I'm not a big fan of Joe Buck, but he had a great line yesterday. It was like, this is the schedule right now of who has, which, network has which teams. We have no idea where we're going yet next week. And I was like, that's
7. See, look, 7 games at 1 o'clock and 6 games at 4:25.
Yep. Yeah. And a couple of Saturday nighters too, because I always like Saturday games. I really do. Starting
What do they have? 2 Saturday? What do they have? 2 Saturday night games?
Saturday afternoon, Saturday night.
Yeah.
But I do dig that. All right, they're going to run. This looks like they're going to run the clock out here. 26 seconds left. Last 5 games, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been outscored in the first half by 88 points. So that comes out to be about 18, 19.
That's a Jets-like stat right there.
Yeah, by an average of 19 points a half. No, 18, 17, 17. Yeah. So, you've been outscored by 17 points in the first half in the last 5 games. Up by 10 here. So that means they can really start putting the stranglehold down. 28 seconds left, 2 timeouts. I know you got to get going soon. You said at halftime. That's fine. I just may pop out for a quick second before you check out. So,
sure.
2nd down, 8, 20-yard line, snap, back, throws to the sideline, and burns a lot of clock for only 2 yards. 22 seconds, and now a 3rd down to about 6, but does get out of bounds.
Surprised he's able to keep his balance.
I was surprised he went inbounds on that. Burned a lot of extra clock for it was, high risk, low reward, and that's what ended up happening here.
Yeah,
by the way, showing the Steeler and Browns helmets completely covered in frost because it's cold as heck out there in Pittsburgh. Snap, back, throws over top. Frey Mueller does get the first down, gets out of bounds, but now 17 seconds left to the 30. You know what? You got 2 timeouts. Start throwing a couple balls deep, 20 yards.
Yeah, you might as well.
Flag on the play. Was that a late hit or a bad hit? Suddenly, if that's the case, that's an extra 15 yards. So, personal foul. Roughness on the defense. Delpit takes a 15-yard penalty. That changes things a lot here because now it's the 45-yard line.
That didn't look like a penalty.
Ooh. Yeah, it was out of bounds. He led with the helmet. Almost nailed Freiermuth right in the balls too. But now it's 17 seconds left and 2 timeouts. You just gave them 15 yards.
I
think it was the leading with the helmet.
That's a ticky-tacky call, if you ask me.
I get it, but completed, picks up about 4 yards on that, but it does get out of bounds.
He was in bounds by the time he took off for that dive for the tackle. He was in bounds, Freiermuth.
Yeah, but I guess, like I said, probably leading with the helmet was the problem. So, but they're burning a lot of clock.
He's not going to lead with his foot. Otherwise, that'd be a roundhouse kick. So, like, what do you want these guys to do? What do you want these guys to do, these defenders? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. So, 49-yard line, second down at 6, 12 seconds left. Got to get down to 37-yard line, I guess, maybe. There's the pass, and nope, incomplete, 7 yards left. 7 seconds left. I can say you got to give credit somewhat to the Browns defense tonight. They have done really well to hold everything on that offense in check, including Harris.
Yeah, they definitely kept themselves in this game because Baker is not doing anything to help them out.
Chubb has been solid. They've been good on the ground, but he can't be the only one in this case. But on third down, Roethlisberger 7 for 8 for 44 yards. Now 2 first downs now. And I think a timeout has to be called here. Yeah. The Browns call a timeout because apparently there are too many men on the field.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, one man
5,
short.
6, 7, 8, 9. They're short. They only got 10 guys.
Well, legally it's not a penalty. You can do that if you want.
Flag. Not enough men on the field. Cleveland. 15 yards just for being so stupid and unaware.
Yeah, they had the timeout to at least burn that. But one of the things I got to say about Big Ben here, this is his 248th start. Assuming he starts next week as well, he will be one start short of 250. That does suck a little bit.
Yeah.
4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, throws over the top, and intercepted. So last play of the half, and basically it's a pick. That sucks. Credit again to the defense, credit to Green in this case specifically for that interception to at least hold after the personal foul. But
he just threw it right to him.
Yeah, I was expecting that to honestly just be a Hail Mary. Say, what the hell you got to lose? But anyway, I will be popping up right now, so I'll be right back. Hang in there. So
sounds good. Yeah, Browns getting the ball second half. Baker can't seem to do much, so it's really going to be interesting to see what they do. You see what kind of adjustments they make, but right now I'd say the Steelers' defense is really giving him problems. Besides the fact, he doesn't even look very good when he does have time to throw the ball and he's by himself. He looks injured. He's not very good rolling out to the left, especially throwing across his body. Yeah, I had the Steelers winning this game 27-21, but I don't think Cleveland, just on eye test, is going to make it seem like it's that close of a game. I mean, Baker's only have like 3 receptions, completions so far at halftime. I mean, that's not going to do you anything. TJ Watt is tearing him up. He's busting through that offensive line. He's got 2.5 sacks already this game.
cool. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yes. So
the insider update said Rodgers wants to play next week.
I saw that, and honestly, I don't know if he necessarily will. I mean, he needs 7 yards to get 4,000 for the season. Fine, but what's he going to say? No, I don't want to play next week.
Or just be quiet, because that's how it is at the end of the season. You lock up your play, it's expected that you would sit.
Sure, but I mean, he's
So,
not the type to want to anyway. So
no.
I gotta look something up though, because they've just made the announcement that Mike Glennon is out for the season, having wrist surgery, and I don't know. Are they going to put in Fromm? Are they going to grab somebody off the side? I don't know.
Brian Lewerke.
Who?
Exactly. It's Brian Lewerke. So Jake Fromm and Brian Lewerke are the Giants' healthy quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Brian Lewerke.
Who?
Yeah, all right.
All right. Well, that's gotta call it for me.
All right. Yeah, I was going to say he resigned the Friday, but yeah, signed with the Alphas of the Spring League. But anyway, yeah. All right, I'll talk about that one. When you're
Sign with the what of the what?
The Spring League. That's one of those,
Gotcha.
those 14 leagues that surprisingly was on like FS1. They got good pub. But
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you, sir. So
we will talk tomorrow.
Yes.
Sign it off.
Have a good night, man. Thank you as always.
You as well.
And have a good day tomorrow. Welcome back to work.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, welcome back. By the way, I wanted to give respect for your main Black Bear shirt too.
Yeah, I wore it today.
I haven't said that all game, but I wanted to say thank you for that.
Got a rep. There you go.
So
very good. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, man. Cheers. And that was Mr. Brandon K. So he's got to check out early because he has work. And, the funny thing about work is, well, you kind of have to make money to survive in this world. So I don't blame him in the least. So you, at this point, will now be stuck with me for better or very possibly worse. We'll see what happens. As always, you can find us on twitch.tv/StreamPunkSports. You can find us on Twitter at StreamPunkENT, that's entertainment, or StreamPunk Sports on Instagram. Right now, in this case, like I said, coming into it, I was fully prepared for Ben Roethlisberger to have his last home game in Pittsburgh and fully to win this. Why? I don't know, but ESPN, the voting panel that they had, gave the Browns a 54% chance of winning, which I don't personally get because the Browns are just an unmitigated, chaotic team right now, and I don't know where their future is going to lie. If you listened to me earlier, you probably heard me talk a little bit about how I don't know if necessarily Baker Mayfield is the answer. I've been saying that all season. I personally thought that they were going to have a decent year this year. Not a great year, 10 wins, maybe 11, but something where they could at least compete and show what their stuff is made of. The results that they had this year, honestly, have been middling coming into this. Baker Mayfield has had 15 touchdowns and 11 interceptions coming into this game. So he's already at one pick at this point. He has no touchdowns. And if he ends up with something that's 15 and 12 right now, if he ends up with something similar to that at the end of the season, Baker Mayfield may very well be done in Cleveland. You're seeing that he's not necessarily the answer. He is in some ways a little more well-known for what's happening with the Progressive commercials than anything else. I think he's been doing those commercials, I guess, from the beginning. But as I said earlier in the show, and I mentioned this last night, for me personally, I've had in my career, 11 years in the industry, at least 900 days on set. I had the actual number. I could look it up. But about 900 days on a film set in my career. Some of them have been very simple background work. Some of them stand-in, picture car, whatever it is. Some of them have been like really quiet little independent films. Once having to actually wear nothing but my underwear in Central Park in November, which I'm not a fan of that one at all. Conversations for Tales from the Film Set if I ever get to it. But one of the things that I have noticed when it comes to all these commercials that these athletes are doing, excuse me, you see the commercials that, like, say, Gronk is doing. You see the commercial that Patrick Mahomes is doing, or Aaron Rodgers. You see these commercials that these guys are doing, high-profile stuff. These commercials, if you ever notice, they rarely ever move, and very, very rarely, if ever at all, they don't do these commercials in more than one location. So with the Gronk commercials right now, the USAA commercial, he's sitting on his couch the entire time. He's standing up with a dude in the deli next to him. There's no movement, there's no action. Literally, there's bam, cue card, go. And as a result, they do, 5, 6, 8, 10 takes, whatever they do. And they're like, thank you, Mr. Gronkowski. We'll make it the check out to Gronk, and then they just ship him out and he's done. What the problem is with the Baker Mayfield commercials, and this is, like I said, this is my obscure thing. Like it, agree with it, hate it, disagree, whatever you want. Let me know in the comments. I'm cool with it either way. But I'm going to pull from, like I said, the fact that I've had 900 days on set in my career. The Baker Mayfield commercials have so much activity that has to be done. Walking from point A to point B, different setups in the stands, down on the field, in the locker room, down the hallway, all these different things in the same commercial. That kind of stuff takes time away from Baker Mayfield, the quarterback. And part of the reason why I think he is struggling is because there's too much involved with these commercials. If he parked his ass down just like the rest of them do, like Aaron Rodgers does with Jake from State Farm, okay, Aaron, we're going to be on this golf course and you're going to say this. Cool, done, bye. Not a big deal. In his case, there's so much work, so much activity, and so many lines of dialogue, and a lot of times interaction in the same shot with other people. If you see the one that basically Gronk has with the guy from the deli, there is one where they're sitting on opposite ends of the table. But if you watch that commercial, you never see Gronk and him in the same shot while Gronk is talking. You'll see Gronk talk. The camera is focused solely on him because you won't, and wait for that kind of a setup, you won't need the deli guy for the shot. You can set up your cue cards. If you ever look at the commercials that Baker Mayfield is doing, he's talking to other people. He's relying on the actions and the conversations with other people. If they fungal a line, if they miss a mark, it screws up his timing, which means that the commercials take longer and longer and longer and longer and longer. That is time that Baker Mayfield, the quarterback, is losing out on. And I personally think to some degree that is part of the reason why he is not doing well in Cleveland right now. And who knows what his future is going to hold. Who knows whether or not he's going to come back next year, or they're just going to basically bite the bullet, take the pay cut, and just take the pay hit and just let him go. I don't know. But the question becomes, A, what does Cleveland do from here? And B, what would Baker Mayfield do from here? We're already assuming probably that, they're going to try and maybe draft a new quarterback next year, maybe give Baker another shot, one more year. But the truth of it is he is not playing with enough urgency right now, and he's not playing with his job on the line to guide that team where they need to go. Right now, again, he's had, I think, 4 completed passes all first half. He's had an interception. He hasn't put a lot of yardage on the field. So all of those various things are reasons why Baker has not been what they needed him to be. They're already eliminated from postseason at this point. They're playing for more or less pride at this point, but it's tough to watch in some ways. On the other side of the fence, you got a Ben Roethlisberger who is playing very likely his last game in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform at home. So his family is out. That is always a sign that probably he's done there. I think personally, Ben Roethlisberger will be done after this season. He's done everything he needs to do. He had a little bit of a personal life challenge initially because that's the issue that comes about sometimes when you get fame so quickly. You have a difficult time adjusting to it. But he's turned it around well. He's gotten that team a couple of Super Bowls. He owes not just Pittsburgh, but he owes the NFL nothing at this point. He can get a job, whatever he wants to do. If he wants to actually just be a broadcaster, a coach, the future is his. I think probably he'll go into broadcasting would be my guess, much like Drew Brees ended up doing. But he owes the NFL zilch. And next week, depending on what happens with the playoffs, next week may be the last time we ever see Ben Roethlisberger take a snap under center again. And that's the funny thing that I think happens a lot of times. By the way, we're in halftime at the moment. So let me just work on this real quick. I should have done this in the first place. Many apologies on that. So Steelers 10, Browns, Bubkiss. So usually come halftime, I usually try and put that in there, but there we go. I have noticed as I get a little bit older that I take for granted players when they're in any kind of a sport while they're there. You know, you just kind of always in some ways just assume that they're always going to be there. And then when they're not, it's an adjustment. You know, hard to believe that it's been 5 years since Eli Manning retired. It's been almost 5 years now since, 5 years almost since, it's been 5 years since Peyton Manning retired. It's been almost 5 years since Eli Manning retired. And time moves on because that's what it does. But it's amazing how quickly you forget and learn to miss players when they're there. You know, this is now at this point, it's an evolving league where players have shorter careers than they usually do. So when you have somebody like Ben Roethlisberger or a Phillip Rivers or Eli Manning from the 2004 draft class or Tom Brady right now, or hell, I would say even Patrick Mahomes, you have these players that are generational talents that when they are gone, you kind of look around and be like, did I really appreciate what I saw when we had it? Tom Brady, the man's immortal. The man's going to basically play until he's like 93 years old, I think. You know, your grandkids will probably be talking about, I remember when Tom Brady was a rookie. And I'm sorry, you'll be telling your grandkids that, it's like, I remember when Tom Brady was a rookie. And your grandkids will be like, yeah, but he's still playing now, so what do I care? I like that aspect of it, but it's so fleeting in the NFL how long a career can be, even with a kicker. By the way, they're underway now with the second half. Browns take the ball out across the 25, across the 30-yard line, and down to about the 34-yard line. So Cleveland gets good field position to start this second half. And a lot of questions are going to remain. Can Baker Mayfield make this happen? This is Nick Chubb's team right now. He's been putting up good numbers today. Chubb right now, if I look at the stats on this, Chubb has 4 rushes for 35 yards, but they have predominantly tried to go with Baker Mayfield, at quarterback. But Baker Mayfield is 4 for 15 in passing. Can you rely on him in this case? 35-yard line, Baker underneath. Baker takes the snap and hands it off to Chubb, who ends up picking up 2, maybe 3 yards. So first play from scrimmage is a 3-yard pickup. The Browns had the opportunity the last drive to be able to make something happen. I think they should. That's it. Change that right there. Prediction. I wish I had autocorrect on this laptop. So, still standing by what me and Brandon both actually predicted as far as the final for this game. But put that up there. In the meantime, second down at 7, 14:22 left. And so they're probably going to push. I would think they're probably trying to push the running game a little bit more. They do another handoff to Nick Chubb. Smart move in this case. He did have 35 yards to start, in the first half. He's taken the first 2 plays from scrimmage and sets up about a 3rd down and 4. But Baker has not done the numbers that he needs to do it. 4 for 15 passing and an interception in the process. You have to rely on Nick Chubb. That can work for a little while to try and set a tone here, but eventually Pittsburgh is going to adjust to that. And they are going to start focusing a lot more, if they haven't already, on making sure they can contain Nick Chubb. 3rd down and 3, by the way, officially. It's at the 42-yard line of Cleveland. Baker Mayfield is currently in the shotgun, calling out signals, pump, and there's the snap, back, scrambling, and down he goes for the first sack of the second half. It's only a 1-yard sack, but you know what? A sack is a sack, and now it goes back to Pittsburgh. Sack is a sack. Now it goes back. If it was last night with the Packers, that would have worked. A sack is a sack, but now it goes back to the Pack. I can't do anything with the Steelers. But anyway, Baker takes another sack in this case. That defensive line is holding as best as they can, but they're not doing enough against Pittsburgh. And just like that, you're giving the ball back to Ben Roethlisberger, who can make this a 3-score game. Officially from the 40.5-yard line. Colquitt has had a decent punt day today. He's averaged 45.5 yards a punt, 34 net. This kick isn't bad. Down to the 16-yard line and across to the 21, 22-yard line. So it's about a 6-yard pickup there. Again, I stand by the predictions that we had down below there. So Brandon's prediction, Steelers 27, Browns 21. I went with Steelers 25, Browns 12. I still think I'm going to be closer on mine than he is on his. But I think this is, like I said, this is the swan song. And this is a Pittsburgh Steelers team that is not going to lose this game for him. There's no way they can do that. They're not going to do it. They are still technically, like I said, in the playoff hunt, so they can make something happen. However, I'm going to be real. The odds of them actually reaching the playoffs are minimal. Not to say they won't win this game. Not to say they're not going to be able to beat the Ravens next week. But in order to make this happen, the big thing that has to happen is the Indianapolis Colts. God, I should have got some more coffee. The Indianapolis Colts have to lose next week in the road against Jacksonville. And the truth is, I don't think that's going to happen. I know Jacksonville got slashed yesterday against New England, but this is not a team that can rebound from that with an impressive win. Yes, they're playing at home. Yes, they're going to be impassioned to try and win against their, for their fans, but that is not a team that has a chance of really being able to beat a Colts team that knows that they are knee deep into a playoff spot right now. If you're going to be able to do it, though, you got to stop Jonathan Taylor. If you can stop Jonathan Taylor, right now this season, the Colts are 0-6 in games where he does not get 100 yards. You stop him, you got a damn good shot. But the question is, can that defensive line be, and even that linebacking core, can they be able to make that happen? I answer, honestly, no, they cannot. And as a result, I think it's going to be something that the Colts are going to get in. And Ben Roethlisberger plays his last game ever next week. You know, it's kind of a sad thing. Like I said, you see it 17, 18 years in the NFL like he is, whatever the number ends up being. But you see these guys and you don't appreciate what they have and what they bring to the table. Right now, they're showing some highlights, and they're showing the Franco Harris immaculate reception. Runs for the touchdown there. Big touchdown in the Super Bowl in 1972. Showing a little John Madden on that one too. John Madden. Kids may not actually know what he brought to the NFL outside of EA Sports, but trust me, that man helped define football. There was something soothing about his voice, instructional, educational, and the tandem between him and Pat Summerall, and eventually him and Al Michaels, was something that is very rarely duplicated, and is something that I think is sorely missed in today's NFL on Fox. So, Roethlisberger with a handout, with a throw for the sideline, out of play, and brings up a second down. By the way, apologies. It looks like my signal dropped out a little bit right there, so I'm not sure if you got one of those things where you just see this for a bit. But irrespective of that, it is now a 2nd down and 10 with 12:32 left in the third quarter. Right now, Ben Roethlisberger is 10 for 35, 96 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Najee Harris is doing his job more than and then some. 18 reception yards, but 71 rushing yards. That is surprising a little bit that they haven't run with him as much. Home immaculate reception salutes John Madden and ESPN. Okay, respect. Just a regular side in the stands. So there it is. There's a handoff to Najee Harris, who basically breaks a tackle across the 40-yard line, shoves a player down, and across actually, oh, dude, straight up just straight up arm shove somebody down, and picks up about, what was that? Let's say, picks up 5 yards and 10 yards and 15 and 20 and 25 and 30 yards on that run play. So like I said, Najee Harris just stiff arms and just drops. I don't even know who that is, but Stewart. Just straight stiff arms and straight drops Stewart on the ground. And yeah, like I said, give the ball to Najee Harris. He's now over 100 yards rushing today. He's at 1,085 yards this season, which basically gives him the most rushing yards by a rookie in Steelers history. Franco Harris, 1972, 1,055 rushing yards. With that particular run play, he just broke the all-time Steelers rookie record for rushing yards as a rookie. So rookie rushing yards by a rookie, run by a rookie when he's a rookie. So they still have a game next week. That does asterisk it a little bit, but he did it in 16 games. You know, Franco Harris did it, I think, in 14 games, granted, but it's something that he's been averaging in this case. 7.2 yards a rush tonight. They're at the 48-yard line of Cleveland. They're burning clock. They got a great chance to be able to pick up some extra points here. Harris actually is down in the backfield, loses about 4 or 5 yards on that one. So it does bring up a 2nd down. And anyway, so Okay, what else can I discuss in the meantime? I've talked ad nauseum about the Giants. I could always bitch about that. Streampunk Entertainment, by the way, I just want to talk a little bit about that while we're at it, I guess. Streampunk Entertainment right now is building. We got the website going live next week. Press kit, one of the things that we're going to be doing that I'm really looking forward to, and I mentioned this to Brandon before the show started. I'll come back to that in a sec. But second down and 11 right now, they're giving us some forward progress, 49-yard line. Pass complete, picks up about 4. Sets up a third down and long for about 7 yards there. One of the things that we are going to be doing, and I'm fired up about this, is we're going to be using this as the hub for people to talk about things that they are not known for. In the acting industry, and that's going to be a free play. I think they stopped the clock on that. Thrown deep down the sidelines. Technically, it's intercepted, but I know we're calling it incomplete, but it's a false start on the Browns, so it doesn't really matter. But it does set up a much, much more manageable third down, going from third down and 7 to third down and 2. Jadeveon Clowney again. He's the one that, if you remember earlier, had that personal foul when he threw a shoe and led ultimately to more Pittsburgh points. So he jumps the line right there. That's more than obvious. And now sets up, like I said, if the Browns can stop it here, it's not going to be a big deal. But it's third down and 3. But if they end up actually getting 4 yards here and the clock continues to run, they're going to look at some of the penalties that Clowney has had today and be like, no, dude, this is part of what hurts that team. Respect, by the way, to somebody at Heinz Field right now for having a banner that says Dog Pound. The Cleveland Brown Dog Pound. They have that literally actually showing up on TV, stands there, and nobody's apparently giving them shit. So anyway, first down on the third down on a completed pass along the sideline. Basically, quick out to Johnson there. Picks up about 12 or 13 yards. But like I said, what we're looking to do is there's a lot of people that I have connections with and a lot of people that have some name recognition in the industry that we're going to start bringing on, because we're going to have them talk about things they don't typically talk about in things that they want to talk about. So Najee Harris picks up 5 on that. So actors, for example, stunt people, for example, that you basically will be able to recognize a few of the names who have an interest in talking about something in the sports or maybe even in the comic book arena. So between this and the sister channel of Tales from the Film Set, we're going to have people that are going to be coming on. They're going to be talking about what they want to talk about. Part of my problem with working in the film industry is I have so many questions that I have to answer constantly. It's like, oh, so what project are you working on? What do you think about Alec Baldwin and Rust and everything that happened there? I've answered that question so many fucking times. Completed pass, by the way, picks up on 2nd and 5, picks up about 10 yards on that. Fresh set of downs, out of bounds, 15-yard line. So Pittsburgh is really rolling right now and really making stuff happen on their first drive in the second half. So I get a lot of questions, like I said, about what it's like in the film industry. So who have you met? Who have you had a conversation with? Have you talked to Hank Azaria? Is he nice? Yes, I've talked to Hank Azaria, and yes, he's fucking awesome. But after a while, you do get a little burned out about it, and sometimes you want to talk sports or comic books or video games or Dragon Ball Z. Cobra Kai, why not? Incomplete pass on that, bringing up a second down. So I have connections with a fair amount of people that you will recognize from every aspect of it. I got three targets really specifically. I've got sports, entertainment, and YouTube. YouTube, I'm going to separate YouTube and acting a little bit as 2 different mediums, but it's both entertainment. Let me clarify that. But I've got people there that are known for one thing that are going to be coming on to talk about other things instead. So, we've had YouTubers on. There's one YouTuber with 3.5 million subs. I mentioned Dragon Ball. That's a hint right there anyway. And he is huge incomplete pass. Well overthrown in this case, third down and 10. But he is huge into Formula One. And this dude knows everything. You want to ask him what, Lewis Hamilton's stats were in Dubai in 2019. Bam, 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 bam. He can do it because it's where his true passion is. Not where he's known for. It's not where his money's coming from. But it is an outlet for him to know that basically, for something that he wants to talk about. So we're just happy to have him on. I literally just sent the dude an email. I was like, so is there a sport you'd like to talk about? And he's like, I love Formula One. I'm like, go. And then I'm like looking up Formula One, on YouTube, what the hell I'm talking about because I don't know shit. But that's the kind of stuff that we know we're going to be rolling with. I got a guy who's a cast member for Orange is the New Black. He's a big Denver Broncos fan, so we can do that. I've got a couple other people, like I said, that basically are big into comics, and that's once I have a couple of things the way I want on the website and the press kit. By the way, 4th down and 8. I'm sorry, I got distracted there. Picked up a couple yards, but they're going to send out the kicking unit right now. Once we get a couple things the way I want them, I'm going to start blasting this stuff out and just reaching out to people and being like, dude, why don't you come on, talk about what you want to talk about. Everything is done through Restream like this. What I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to do, kick is up and it's good. 8:20 left in the third quarter, and now it's Pittsburgh 13 and the Browns nothing. One of the things that I think I want to do with this is I'm going to work with it a little bit more around their schedule. Not limiting myself to Monday Night Football like I am right now, not limiting myself to Sports Den when I have that on Zingo TV at 4 p.m. on Tuesdays, but working around their schedule and probably just doing some kind of a live Twitch like this and have them on and just go. I think that's probably the way I'm going to roll with it. The benefits to interviews. By the way, we've qualified for affiliate right now. By the way, it's a commercial break. We've qualified for affiliate on here. So the ads and whatever revenue we get in, granted it's peanuts, but part of the requirement is you can't actually live stream anywhere else. You have to live stream this broadcast here. You can take the video and pop it somewhere else. So last night's Sunday Night Football will be going live on YouTube at midnight tonight. This one will be going live tomorrow night at midnight. That you can do because it's 24 hours after. But I cannot legally do here and anywhere else at the same time. Interestingly enough, we had a Facebook page that was doing really good numbers and was really impressive. And then Facebook just went, gone. Because I guess we did something. I don't even know what the freaking we did, man. I have no idea. They're just like, your account broke some rules. We're deleting the account. You can appeal. So I appeal. We're like, we've looked over your appeal. We're not giving you your account back. Thank you for using Facebook. And so what did I do? You did something wrong. Yeah, but what was it? It was wrong. What was it? It was something you should not have done. This is like basically the conversation. I want to honestly have better success if I talk to basically the curtains that are over there by the window. Because I know what I'm getting from those curtains. There's no hope there. But there was some hope about trying to get back the Facebook page, which clearly didn't happen. It sucks. It is what it is. But you know what? We learn from it. We get better. We get smarter. We grow. I think what I'd like to do with this also is I'm going to be tying this in a little bit with some of the other projects that I have. I have something also called Uplifting Stories in a Minute, which I've been off and on with. This is more of a streampunk entertainment versus actual like Twitch. But it's short, 1, maybe minute and a half videos of just like average people doing awesome things for humanity. I got a video going live tomorrow on the channel, youtube.com/uplifting stories in a minute. It's about a kid who started camping out in his backyard in Western England to start raising money for a local hospice in his area after one of his neighbors died from I think it was a brain tumor. And this kid set out to raise 100 pounds, UK 100 pounds, and is currently at this point at 700,000 pounds that basically has been raised, which for those us US folks is just a hair shy of $1 million. And what this kid is doing is he's sleeping in his backyard in a tent that was given to him by a neighbor shortly before that neighbor died of cancer or a tumor. And he, stories like that, somebody basically revolutionizing the way that glaucoma can be treated. Kids cleaning up the ocean, the guy that basically was homeless that, turned his life around and now is like a high school teacher. Those kind of things, those kind of short bullet point stories to make your life better when you know how much your life is sucking right now, because everything in your life, everything that you read about, hear about, watch, everything like that is just negative as crap, especially with COVID coming back again. 1st down and 10, 26-yard line, Baker over center, completed to Landry for about 5 on that. So good completion, good quick pass there. And they got to get something going in this case. Browns offense had 7 drives, but a grand total of 4 first downs. So you need to get something here. You need to get some motivation, some kind of an energy going, because right now they haven't got squat. But that Uplifting Stories in a Minute is more of a personal project because I am so easily susceptible to all the negative stuff in the news. I've installed a filter on my own Facebook to block out anything with COVID, politics, current events, and it just brings up a little tab saying, this topic is about, Biden and Trump. Like, do you want to see it? Nope, thank you. I'm just done. Johnson, I believe it's Johnson, across the first down marker, picks up a good run on that one. Picks up about maybe about 8 or 9 yards. So 7:20 left there. Oh, that was Nick Chubb. I'm sorry. Misread the number on the back. And as a result, they're picked up another first down. That run game has been solid. I'm a little surprised that they're just now starting to put more energy and effort into getting that run game going, because they got to do something here. Nick Chubb has only been on the field for 13 to 31 snaps, but he has 7 rushes for 49 yards. So he's averaging a straight 7. He gets the ball again. If he can turn the corner, he'll pick up something. Great throw down there, and picks up about 3. Yeah, they're going to down him, but if he was able to turn that corner, he would be able to pick up a little bit more. But the corner ended up slowing him down, so he only picked up 3. But great stiff arm and another drop. Oh, dude. Oh, that was great. I love it. Not just drops the guy, but almost slams his head into the ground, just with the stiff arm itself. So, and that's going to launch 1,000 memes, I think. Humility moment on national television. Yeah. Never had one of those on in football. I've had embarrassing moments on national television, but never on the field like this. 2nd down and 7. Ball's tipped and incomplete. Tipped to the line of scrimmage, and there's I believe that's Mr. Watt again. So throwing some smack to Baker Mayfield too. Yeah, Baker, you just got to take it, man. Your numbers haven't been great today. 3rd down and 7. Like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing everything that they have to do on defense today. And it was a great leap, great tip. And Watt is just basically immediately turns around and just points right at Baker. Oh, that just makes me happy right there. 2 sacks and 2 pass breakups for TJ Watt tonight. 3rd down and 7 at their own 43-yard line. Baker in the shotgun. Baker back. And under pressure again, scrambles, and he is going to slide and pick up maybe half a yard. It's not going to be a sack, but the slide was curious. Why would you slide in this case? He was out of the pocket. He took an unnecessary slide. There was no way he was going to get the first down, but you're risking an unnecessary injury when you've got 3 defenders coming at you like that and you decide to slide. You're out of the pocket. He was fairly far behind the line of scrimmage. He easily could have thrown that ball out of bounds, but instead he took an unnecessary hit, a risky hit. Who knows what could have happened there. So, I say, hey, you, and how you doing? So, and what's up with you? So, yeah, it's been a little while. How you doing? Everything cool? So, let's see. And punt is away at this point. 5:12 left at this point. Packers, fan of fumble, but that's going to be picked up again by receiving from the background. So, but for all you guys out there, hope you guys had yourself a good New Year. If you celebrate the English and Gregorian New Year, if you got Chinese New Year, that's coming up for you guys. So mazel tov on that. Anyway, as always, find us on Twitch, StreamPunk Sports. Find us on Twitter at StreamPunk ENT for short for entertainment. And as always, like I said, you can find me. I'm Scott Schertzen. It's easy to find me everywhere. We've got about 5 minutes and some change left. This second half has actually run pretty quick at this point. So I got to say I'm happy about that a little bit because I'm getting a little more tired at this point. So how was my holiday? Well, I definitely had one. Actually, it wasn't too bad. By the way, as they're showing the State Farm commercial right now, like I said, brings up what I mentioned before, where you're not seeing these guys do a heck of a lot. They get up, they sit down, they stand put. Not like the Baker Mayfield commercial where he's doing everything under the sun. But it wasn't bad. It was me, my parents, my mother-in-law, and my wife, of course, too. So it was pretty chill, all things considered. My father brought over some stuff. My mother-in-law brought over some stuff. And my father ended up having to go back to the house because he forgot not one but 2 different things. So he felt really, really bad about that. But more important than that, how was yours? Did you have a good one? Did Santa bring all the presents that you wanted? I got a bobblehead. So yes, put him over there. Kind of just he just hangs out and keeps us company. So, but if you had a good holiday, let me know. Already, it's only 3 days into the new year. It's been a curious new year at this point for me so far. But as Stream Punk Entertainment continues to grow and continues to build, we're doing okay. So you got a PC. Okay, see, that's good stuff right there. I don't know if you're using it for gaming or what, but I've debated if I should actually start to upgrade the laptop that I've got here. The webcam, I've got to upgrade some of the stuff here. Locally, B&H is great for a lot of the video stuff that we get around here. But we're expanding, we're growing. But you getting a new PC, that's cool. Proud of you, man. So Merry Christmas to you on that one. Anyway, 5:06 left. The game is now back once again. Brandon K was my co-host for the first half, but had to duck out due to the fact that he has to work early tomorrow. First time he's had to work since he had to get back from Maine. So he had a nice long week and a half up in Maine, came back for a couple of days, and now he's got to get back to the work grind again. That sucks. So, so right now, Ben Roethlisberger is back at the 5-yard line, 5:06 left, and Najee Harris is the one in the backfield, takes it, first handoff, for this drive, and picks up about 4 yards, but the clock is going to continue to run. They are now, like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers are up 13-0 at this point. Baker Mayfield and everybody with Cleveland have not gotten really much of anything done at all. So this is clearly Pittsburgh's game to hold on to. Like I said, it's 13-0 right now. I had made a prediction earlier. I'm going to put that back up to show that me and Brandon were probably pretty damn close in this. I predicted 25-12. Brandon predicted 27-21. I'm not even sure in this case if the Browns are even going to get 12. Another handoff to Najee Harris. He picks up 2-3. He's getting a lot of yardage after the hit. So one of the biggest things about football in this case is not just how many yards you get, but how many yards you get after that first initial hit and how much you can drive the opposing players back. Harris tonight has been doing a phenomenal job of basically just taking the line of scrimmage and just pushing it and picking up that extra 2 or 3 yards, which makes a huge difference. In this case, it's a 3rd down and 3 that they're looking at as opposed to like a 3rd down and 5 or 6. That is a hell of a lot more manageable. So, let's see. What do we got here? So Jamar Chase, my fantasy team, got like 60 freaking points. I had him benched. Oh, I know that feeling. By the way, since Ben Roethlisberger just gets sacked, I think he's going to be sort of, they're not calling it a safety in this case here, but it is going to bring up a 4th down. Yeah, I've had those days. Now, in your case, if it's one of those things where if you had put him in, it's even worse when you know you would have won in that case. If you're getting blown out and you're going to lose by 80, 90 points, that's one thing. But when you know you could have just gotten that win, if you put the right players in, I hate that feeling. You almost sit there and you look at what's on your bench and you're just sort of thinking to yourself, would you stop doing this? Stop hurting me, make me feel bad. Punt gets away, good kick too, on the 44-yard line of the Browns. Hit underneath, I was going to say that's Peoples-Jones, who gets up about 10 yards on that. But I right now am in the fantasy league side of myself, where we are the best of the worst. So I am in what's called the consolation bracket, which is basically where you go when your team really, really sucks and they want to give you some kind of award for the Try Hard Award. I am probably going to win that one because one of the things when you're in the consolation, as they're in the commercial break now, when you're in the consolation bracket, nobody pays attention anymore because nobody cares. So it's real easy to beat a guy who doesn't have actually anybody playing and just benches 3, 4, or 5 players. And you're already guaranteed via Yahoo to have like a 98% chance of winning before the game even starts. Kind of like this. So come to think of it, this might be the last week of fantasy for me. So maybe I did get the consolation prize. I don't know. I haven't been paying that close attention. I set my team and I don't even look at it. But yeah, another losing season for Mr. Scott, and in this case, the Cobra Kylers. It was tough, but I'm used to losing. All my teams do anyway. Giants. Yeah, looking at you guys. To be fair, I've gotten bitched at a little bit about over complaining about the Giants. So I'm trying to be better about that today. Even though let me just throw this. I throw a poll out there on Stream Punk Entertainment on Twitter. And 87% people voted yes, that the New York Giants are the most mismanaged franchise in the NFL. So I'm glad some people are just agreeing with me on that. But anyway, this is a great chance right now for the Cleveland Browns. Let's see. What do we got? Yeah, because whenever players have a good game, I have you haven't benched. And then the next game, put them in, they suck, get like 5 points. I know, and then substitutes. Like, yeah, I know you can't catch that lightning in a bottle, and you just try and like follow the market, knowing full well that you're not going to get squat out of it. And yeah, I think we've all done that. Or you do that with free agency, where you're looking through, you got to replace a guy, and you're looking, it's like, okay, these guys' numbers have been solid. You look at how many, what percentage of the rest of the league is actually playing that guy. And you're like, all right, you're going to start to, Julio Jones. Julio Jones starts one play, and then suddenly is injured for weeks. That's usually what I end up getting also. And that's, again, you want to beat your head against the wall. For me personally, one of my biggest problems is that anybody I draft is pretty much guaranteed to be injured, catch COVID, or in some weird way be out for the season. I am so injury prone when it comes to my players. It's almost hilarious. So if there's any guys that you don't want, let me know and I'll draft them. So, let's see. T. Higgins, we got 44. Yep, next week got 8. See, here's the thing. 8's not terrible. 8's not a great number, but at least it's something. Baker over the middle with a great catch to Peoples-Jones there, who's now crossed the 20 down to the 10, inside the 10-yard line. That is what they needed out of Baker. That's what they needed out of Baker the first half. I don't know what Baker they had then, but this is the Baker they needed. Partly because I think they're opening up the game a lot more to Chubb. The first half, they never handed the ball off to Nick Chubb, and he's been averaging 7 yards a rush the entire game. Now they're handing the ball off to Nick Chubb, and guess what? It's opening up the pass game. Peoples-Jones just picked up almost 40 yards on this one right here. And that's exactly what they should have done in the first place. But anyway, back to the original point. Sorry, my nose itches. 8 points isn't bad. Yes, and yeah, 8 points for fantasy isn't bad. It's not great, but you at least know they showed up and at least tried. Chubb basically picks up another 5, so now inside the 5-yard line. And yes, Brandon and I talked about this one a little bit before when he was still on. What impresses me about how many points does Chubb have? I don't know. He's got probably, I'd say, 7 or 8 points at this point. He's got 52 yards here. And so far, actually, he's at 52 yards overall, but no catches. Second down and goal at the 4-yard line. So if they hand it off to him and he gets a touchdown, that'll jump things up. Chubb does take it, and he is short. Yeah, he picks up about 2 on that. You haven't benched. No, you're not getting too excited on this. It's third down and goal. I would be kind of surprised if they handed it off to him a third time. So I'm expecting maybe a screen pass to the side. So who knows? Maybe Chubb actually will pick up a screen pass touchdown on this. And if it's like my fantasy league, you get a half a point for every catch. Now back to this original point. Yes, Derrick Henry does come back next week. You have to give some massive, massive respect, by the way, to the Tennessee Titans. They won that division despite the fact that they have been without Derrick Henry for 2 months plus. Pass over the top. And did he come down with an inbound? They're calling it a touchdown. So I'm curious in this case here. He did bobble a little bit, so I'm not sure in this case if actually that was, in fact, a touchdown by Njoku. But we got to find that out here. They're going to have to review that one, I think, big time. But it looked like he bobbled it, so he might have been out of bounds. I got to review it right now. But as far as Derrick Henry goes, yeah, that's a huge boon to them. You've already won the division. You got to go for seeding at this point. You can use the game upcoming catch. And, yeah, it looks like he has possession. You can use this game upcoming to not only set your position, but also help get his legs back up and running. You're going to need him pretty close to 100% for next week. Use this week upcoming. This is perfect timing. Use this week upcoming to be able to kick us up and good, to get him and his muscles rebuilt a little bit, get him reacclimated to the field, not have him play the whole game, I don't think. I don't think it's the best idea. But I think you can get him to get, a couple of drives in there, maybe 10, 15 handoffs at most, just something to be able to get his legs back up and running again and test out the ACL. Now, they are playing, who are they playing next week with the Titans? They are playing, the Texans. Yeah, I would say start them. I would say basically you're playing the Texans at home. You've got a good shot in this case. So let's see. I was edgy about a trade I did with my buddies. Traded James Robinson for Derrick Henry and hoping to come back. And luckily he is. Yeah. He missed a lot though. But original talk was the fact that he was going to be out throughout the playoffs. I remember back around November, I think it was, we talked about it. he was progressing faster than expected. And there was some talk that he might have been back in time for the regular season, at the very least the playoffs. So if you're Tennessee, you got to be excited about that because it's such an absolute potent offense. He was running away, pun marginally intended, with the league before that injury. So again, you use the game that's upcoming, you give him a chance to get his legs, get a little bit, get a little strength under him, and then you hit the ground running come playoff time. You have that first game at home now that you've won the division. So who you're playing against remains to be seen. But he can play in front of his home crowd, and be pretty close to full strength at that point. That's huge for them right there. So, yeah, you got to be happy if you're in Tennessee. Tannehill's been okay, but he's going to be better now with that guy basically handle the ball up. Let's see. I started the league in fantasy 0-7 and now have all right, 11. Okay, nice. I am not that lucky. Working my 12th win in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm not that guy. I'm that guy that will lose either 68-67 or 196-194. I could have. I have Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor was great for me this year, but there would be games where he would rush for. He would get me 50, 55 points, and I'd still find a way to lose anyway. And then you'd have the other games where the guy. I had a couple of games where you had that one guy in fantasy who never bothers to look at it anymore. He's just like, I'm done. I'm not even bothering to look at it. And you still find ways to lose, even though he's got like 3 guys on the COVID list. Najee Harris picks up about 1 yard on that. That's not going to be the last play of the third quarter, but it's going to be close. Flags all about too. The hands were up around the helmet, so I'm not sure if it's going to be a hold or maybe possible touch across the face mask. Pleading his case right now, but I think is that Clowney? Yeah, it's Clowney again. Oh, dude, he's had a bad day today as far as penalties go. They're discussing this right now, trying to decide if his hand did go across the face mask or across the helmet. And let's see. It looks like it's kind of stripped across the side of the top of the helmet. So they're really discussing this right now. But he has already had one personal foul night. He's already had a false start that I know of. And he might have had a couple others as well. So looks like there's no foul on the play for face mask. Okay, yeah, they conferred on this, and it was the right call. Because you can see, because it kind of came across the head like so, not underneath. So, all right, good job by the officiating to look at it and be able to be like, all right, we're going to get this right. And you know what? Credit they did. It sucks being an official. I don't know why the hell you'd ever want to, but some people are tougher than I am, I think. So 43 seconds left in the third quarter. This will probably be the last play unless there's a pass here. 2nd down and 9. I can almost see another Najee Harris handoff right now. But this does set up some level of sense of urgency because Pittsburgh is now only up 13-7. So you've got to get something back at this point. You got to make something happen. I'll get to that post in a second. Throw over center, tipped and almost caught, but incomplete. Sets up a 3rd down and 9 with 15 seconds left in the third quarter. What do you got here? So very lucky this week is losing. My opponent's losing, and all those players have done this week and I'm winning. Okay, I know those ones where they're just like, you know what? All those players are done. They don't even bother with it. You always have those couple of fantasy people that just like wash their hands of it immediately, or as the season goes on, they're just like, all right, I'm out. I don't care. That's pretty much what I had this week, where I glanced at it, I looked at it, but I think he had a starting quarterback, a kicker, and the defense all simultaneously out. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be easy. But actually, it wasn't the defense. It was maybe a wide receiver. So anyway, 15 seconds left. Looks like a timeout's been called. I'm not sure what side on this guy. Nope. Timeout for Pittsburgh. So 15 seconds left. Mike Tomlin looks really cold because, dude, it's Pittsburgh. It's at 26 degrees. Yesterday, though, it started out at 9 degrees at Lambeau Field last night. It dropped down to 5 degrees, and these players are out there. I live here in suburban New Jersey. Today was like 28 degrees, and I was freezing my ass off. I can't imagine actually being out in the cold, let alone requisite half-naked guy at Lambeau Field when it's 5 degrees and a wind chill of like -9. Steelers playoff chances. If they win, they have an 8% chance of getting to the postseason. If they lose, again, they're out and they're done. And this is probably Ben Roethlisberger's last game next week. But 15 seconds left. Their goal to go on average has been 7.8. Tonight it's 3rd and 9. So they have not done well on third down in that regard, and thrown underneath and incomplete. And it's going to set up a punt, which is going to give the Browns an opportunity to take the lead depending on what happens with that offense. They're using Nick Chubb a lot more, which is the right way to be able to handle this. You know, you can open up the pass a little bit more, get passes to Landry, Peoples-Jones, and you can allow Baker Mayfield to not put as much on his shoulder. Again, is Baker the answer? No, I don't believe he is. But at least you can take some of the pressure off that young man. I think his record, I stand by what I say. I think he would be a better player overall if he stopped doing the progressive commercials. Punt is back, good kick, and down to the 24-yard line for Peoples-Jones, who takes it down to about the 29-yard line with 2 seconds left. So they're going to do one more play before the end of the third quarter. Again, I stand by my belief that Baker Mayfield would, in fact, be a better quarterback if he did not, in fact, do those progressive commercials. There is so much work that goes into those progressive commercials. There's so much time, effort, so much movement. Different sets are done, you know, different people involved in the commercial. You know, a lot of times it's people in the same shot. I look at those commercials and I see the exhaustive amount of effort, and it's like that is time that quarterback Baker Mayfield is not getting. You know, if you look at the commercials that like Gronk does or Aaron Rodgers, they're all sitting in a chair, occasionally standing up. That's all there is. But it's hurting Baker Mayfield's performance on the field. I really do. Anyway, that rant is done. So what do we got? Last play of the third quarter, and down goes Baker at this point. And that's not going to be a sack, I don't think, but it's been close to it, but I don't think it is. I honestly don't think they'll start Henry that much. Backup running back, you know, it's the Texans. They probably are trying to save Derrick Henry, but they are somewhat playing for a position. And they probably would want to give him a few snaps just to be able to get his legs going. You know, maybe not in the first half, maybe in the second half. If things go the way that Tennessee wants them to go, and they're ahead by, like, say, 21-6, then maybe at this point you bring him in to try and pick up a few yards, burn the clock out, but get him some training again, because you don't want to have him go completely cold going right into the playoffs. I can see 5, maybe 10 snaps he's going to take, not a lot more than that. Yeah, exactly, just to get him warmed up. You know, and I like that idea in this case. Beneficial to some degree. It is Houston, so it is going to be a warmer environment. I think that is going to help them as well, because if it was something like New England, I think it would be. Sorry about that. I think it would be a little bit on the different side. If it was, say, something like New England, where it's colder, it's a team that's fighting for something right now. I think that changes the dynamic of what you want to do with Derrick Henry. Some random commercial with Eli Manning. This commercial, in this case, is all over the place and a lot of different setups and a lot of different sets, but it's not like he has to do a lot else anyway. What else is he doing? Commercials with JB Smooth for, what is that, FanDuel or something? He's got Monday Night Football, the reaction between him and Peyton. Big fan of that, I got to admit. Literally my own competition by technicality, but got to say I dig it. Random commercial about Ohio, though, is curious. So they've run this commercial a few times tonight about it's the most affordable state in the country. The math checks out. Life is better. Ohio, competitive. Edge. Jobs Ohio is ready to help. So for any of you guys, if you want to move to Ohio, apparently ohioforleader.com, you can get a job in Ohio. You know, now I will say up front, supposedly, statistically speaking, Cleveland is in fact the most single stressed out city in the entire U.S. I would have figured dollars for donuts, lay down 50 to win 5, that it would have been New York City, where right over the border where I am. I would have figured for sure it would be New York City, but no, apparently Cleveland is the most stressed out city in the country. So keep that in mind if you decide to go to Ohio, like that commercial told you to do. Season 18 final schedule: Chiefs, Broncos, Cowboys, Eagles. That's going to be a great one on Saturday. 7 games at 6 p.m. at 1 p.m. 6 games at 4:30 for Sunday, and then Sunday night it's going to be the Chargers and the Raiders, and that will basically be our last live NFL game for the regular season. We will still continue to do the playoffs. We're figuring that part out, but we are going to be making a transition into other sports as well. So we are already going into soccer at this point. Definitely MLS and CONCACAF is going to be happening. I will have to figure out a way to make this work, because I already, as it is, I cover NYCFC and part of MLS with what I'm doing over at Spanglish World Network. Pass over the middle, across the 40-yard line, down to the 47-yard line. Great first start for Cleveland on that pass. So I have to figure out a couple of ways to try and coordinate between my project here and that project as well. So I don't know just yet what I want to do there. But NYCFC, I probably will not be able to cover. Maybe some of the other teams I could. CONCACAF, yeah. But I want to get something involved in there. I'm going to be at the stadium for a lot of that anyway because they give you press access, which is glorious. Okay. You think the Eagles are going to clutch it out and make the playoffs and beat make the playoffs or beat the Cowboys? You know what? By the way, Johnson with handoff picks up about 5 on that. Nice pickup. Flag on the play might be hold. You know what? If the Cowboys won yesterday, I think it makes it a really easy game because they don't have as much to play for. But the Cowboys fully well know that they need to make something happen. I like the Eagles. As a Giants fan, I'm torn a little bit. But out of loyalty, because I got 3 buds that are Eagles fans, I'm going to root for the Eagles on this one and pull for Philadelphia as a suffering Giants fan to win this game, beat the Eagles, and backdoor into the playoffs. The Cowboys are already in. The Eagles, they had a tough game the other day. Antonio Gibson not playing for Washington is probably a big reason why they won. But the Cowboys lost that game to a team. By the way, Baker back, throws over the top, and incomplete second down, bring up second down and 20. The Cowboys lost, which surprised some people, to an Arizona team 25-22. I know there's some questions about the penalties and whatnot. But Arizona has the best record in the NFL when it comes to playing on the road. They have only lost 1 game all season on the road, and they're currently 8-1. Them getting a wild card could arguably be the best thing for that team. I don't know why. Sometimes teams do better on the road. They are clearly one of them. So it might be a benefit to them that they can actually be able to go into the playoffs as a wild card team. Baker snaps, throws under. Baker's been throwing a lot of balls down at players' feet today. Throwing a lot of balls down at the feet of players. Watt was in his face again, so it's 3rd down and 20. Chubb is on the sideline. So, again, I got questions about what they're doing there a little bit. But you have no choice. You have to use Baker to pass this ball right now. I think what's happening is they're getting to him a little bit more. By the way, I need to come up with a drinking game for these games. Every time there's like 4, at least one hand, you take a shot for every time there's a half-naked guy out freezing his ass off in the cold. There's 4 that should have been 4 shots. By the way, I finished mine earlier. So Baker throws over the top, completed. No, incomplete. It would have been short anyway to Peoples-Jones. Dude, you know what? Yes, on both of those. I gotta tell you, speaking of Joe Burrow, good win yesterday against Kansas City. Win at home. I know it was a comeback win. Kansas City kind of blew the lead that they had. But as somebody who's a fan of a really shitty team, I'm really happy that Cincinnati won that division. It's nice to see a team that struggled for a while get back into competition and be able to make something happen. So it makes me happy to see that what's happening there. And they have a lot to be excited about in Cincinnati. Oh, my God, that was a garbage punt. Shanked it off the side, barely got past the first down marker. So Pittsburgh is going to take that ball back. Colquitt had a terrible punt there. Up until now, it's been solid. But that was, 20, 25 yards. That was actually probably about 21 yards on that punt. They're showing the replay, and, off the side of the foot. That'll do it. And he knew it as soon as he hit. He dropped to one knee. Maybe he took a hit on it. Maybe he got injured a little bit too. But if he's out, who do you use as a punter? Or do you just continue to go for it on 4th down? That's the perpetual question. If you have a punter that's down, if you have a kicker that's down, do you switch the other guy to that role? It'll depend, I think, a little bit on what happens on this drive. Because if Pittsburgh can even pick up a field goal that sets up a 9-point game, that sets up a 2-score game as we're in the 4th quarter right now, and starting to close out this clock a little bit. I figure we got another 40 minutes at most of this game, bring it to about 11:30 Eastern. But I like what Pittsburgh has done most of the time here. This is a little sense of urgency. They've got to be able to win this to be able to have a shot at being able to stay in the playoff hunt. It's going to be tough because they got to win this week. They got to win next week against the Ravens, which I do believe they can do. But more importantly than that, on one hand, the Raiders and the Chargers cannot tie. One team has to win there as requirement number 1. So let's assume that one's going to happen in all likelihood. However, the Colts have to lose on the road against the Jags. And I'm sorry, the Jags are not a good football team. The Colts know what they have to play for. They know they're playing for the playoff lives. So they're going to throw everything they've got. And short of being able to stop Jonathan Taylor, that is a Colts team that should be able to run away with that game against Jacksonville. The Colts are 0-6 when Jonathan Taylor gets less than 100 yards rushing. You stop him, everything else kind of takes care of itself. But that's the biggest key. Can they stop him? Can they put, an extra defender up front? I don't know. Jacksonville's not going to want to lose in front of their home crowd, but Jacksonville also doesn't really have a big crowd anyway. They're not. There's talk about moving that team. Do they stay in Jacksonville? Do they not? We had a guy last night that was from Minnesota, hardcore Viking fan, who moved down to Florida. And that's the biggest problem with Florida teams. You don't get any hometown loyalty. You get transplants across pretty much every sport. I've been at Tropicana Field. Most of the crowd roots for whatever team is playing against the Rays at Tropicana Field. Same thing with Jacksonville. You get all these transplants like Minnesota, or Pittsburgh, or anybody from up north. Najee Harris picks up a great run on that second effort, third effort, fourth effort after first hit and gets the first down. So 13:24 left, and they're already inside Browns territory. But you see all of these people that come from usually colder weather environments that take their team loyalty down south to Florida. And especially in this area, in the New York area, you got a lot of teams here and a lot of fans that head down south and just continue to root for their own home team, and then just order some NFL package or MLB package that allows them to follow their team no matter where they are. As a result, the Florida crowd hurts royally. Even the Arizona crowd, I think, to a small degree. Najee Harris basically takes it, picks up 2 or 3, about 5 yards after another first hit. Arizona is not as bad because you do at least have Southern California and New Mexico, and maybe to a degree part of Texas too. You've got a whole grand area around Arizona to pull in Cardinal Nation. In Florida, you haven't got that. You've got NFL alone. You've got the Jags, like we talked about. You've got the Tampa Bay Bucks. You got the Miami Dolphins. You got 3 teams in that state. And then if you want to move right outside that, you also have New Orleans and you also have Atlanta. So you have so many teams condensed there that you're competing not just with the transplants coming down, but also the local market. Najee Harris picks up about 3 on that. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2. I think 4 down territory if they don't get it here. And let's face facts. The Jaguars are not a good team. They've struggled mightily. They've never made the Super Bowl in now 30 years. It's disappointing. I kind of like that underdog aspect of it, but they're not going to win this week. They're a team that just cannot win, and they're not going to do well in this particular case. So 3rd down and 2, 39-yard line at this point, correction. It is a shotgun for Ben Roethlisberger. And he's going in deep, and he's coming back out. What the hell is he doing? Possibly calling an audible, 2 seconds on the play clock, and handoff to Najee Harris, who picks up the first down and heads down inside the 35-yard line, down to the 33-yard line. So they are doing exactly what they need to do. I will be right back. It is cold as heck here. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit because I don't know why, but for whatever reason, it suddenly got really cold in this room. So we're back. So in the meantime, talk amongst yourselves. How you guys doing? There we go. Get that heat up a little bit in here. Like I mentioned earlier, it is New Jersey, and we've had really good weather for most of the time here in Jersey. It's been 45, 50. We had a couple days that were 62 degrees. Today was cold. So I think part of the reason why it's still cold down here is because of that. Fake handoff and tipped a couple times, but incomplete. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10. Claypool had it, but wasn't able to maintain control, but he had a defender in his face as well. So they are already in field goal range as it is. So that field goal could loom very, very important right here. But Claypool had it. There. Looking at that now, boy, on replay, that should have been a pass interference. He was straight up hugged in midair there before that ball got there. So Browns got away with a big one on that, I think. So anyway, 2nd down and 10. They are in field goal range right now, 34-yard line. Harris, again, I believe, is in the backfield. And there it is, handoff. And he picks up 2nd effort, 3rd effort. It's going to be stopped. He's going to pick up about 2 yards on that. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 8. So, I don't know. Is it time to take a shot deep into the end zone just for the hell of it? I'd say why not? What do you have to lose? You got 10:27 left. It's now a 50-yard field goal or third down and 8. Most of their third downs tonight have been long. They've been third downs that have been a lot of yardage. This has been the one of the big sore spots right now for Pittsburgh tonight. They've had third and longs far too often, which has hurt their overall numbers. Ben Roethlisberger is back in the shotgun again. 32-yard line, so it'll be a 49-yard line, really. 49-yard field goal. And he's running down that clock pretty much as humanly possible right now. And throws over the top and incomplete. So it's going to set up a fourth down from a 49-yard line, 49-yard field goal, and that is going to be huge right there. Johnson's a little slow to get up, but I think it's more he's just pissed with himself right now. That would have been a tough catch anyway. But yeah, he slipped on a catchable ball. And as a result, it would have been a first down, but it is not. So out comes the kicking unit on a 4th down and 8. Roethlisberger throws his hands up in frustration, like, dude, what are you sliding for? So big field goal right here. Because again, this is going to make this a 9-point and now 2-score game. If he hits this, or labels a 50-yarder, the kick is up and that looks straight through. And there it is. It's funny, when I was a kid, 50-yard field goals were considered prime. Nobody ever really got 50-yard field goals ever. And now it's like, 55 yards, don't even feel it. Kickers are just so much stronger than they used to be. Kickers back then were like, 5'10", 150, just thin guys, 22 waist, 32-inch waist. Now these guys, you got guys that can squat like 450, 500, 600 pounds easy as kickers. And as a result, they are just booming these kicks. I think in sometime in the next 5 years, we're going to have someone who's going to kick a 70-yard field goal. It's going to be one of those just for the hell of it, end of the first half, end of the third, the game itself. One of those just try and get into the record books kind of a situation. But yes, I do 100% believe that sometime by the year 2027, we will in fact have a 70-yard field goal in the NFL. There's my opinion on that. But again, 16-7 now with under 10 minutes left. This is going to be a big deal. Going back to, again, the final score predictions, I said the Steelers would win 25-12. Brandon said the Steelers will win 27-21. Both, I think, are very, very possible right now. The defenses, I think, could get a little bit tired, so Brandon could still easily pull these numbers out. But the question now is what happens in Pittsburgh. We're in a commercial right now, so I can talk a little bit. And we got the Eli Manning commercial for the 18th time tonight. What happens with the Pittsburgh Steelers? With Ben Roethlisberger very likely not just being done in Pittsburgh, but very, very possibly, I think, done with the NFL after probably next week's game. Where do the Pittsburgh Steelers go from here? Do they go after somebody like Aaron Rodgers? Do they go after somebody like Russell Wilson? They have Dwayne Haskins right now. Maybe try him. Do they work out a deal? Maybe they try and trade for Garoppolo, maybe. Why not? In San Francisco, you got Trey Lance, who's the heir apparent. Garoppolo, who does have the injured ACL, the ACL and thumb, I think, right now. So you have to wonder what's Pittsburgh going to do when this era is invariably over. I can see Aaron Rodgers, I think, going to Pittsburgh before I see Russell Wilson. For some reason in my mind, I think Russell Wilson would rather go to a bigger market, maybe a little bit of a warmer market too. Just thinking. I, as a Giants fan, have been a big proponent of him coming out here and playing here because this team needs some thump. It will not happen. Hey, half-naked guy. A lot of tats on that guy too. Spend an hour looking at all the tats trying to break them down. I could spend 20 minutes explaining why I think that he should come to New York. But I don't believe he will because the Giants don't have the cap space, and frankly, they're not smart enough to basically bring in a guy like Russell Wilson. But the Giants have no thump, and this is something that I talk about a lot on Reddit because, fan pages, you gripe a little bit. And I'd like to see some kind of a thump from the Giants. They don't have a team right now that has a lot of energy. There's nobody that'd be like, oh, shit, they got that guy. That's the same problem, I think, in some degree that the Browns have. You got Nick Chubb, sure, and that's good. But you don't have that oh, shit guy. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they're showing T.J. Watt right now. T.J. Watt is an oh, shit guy at 20.5 sacks. You have Roethlisberger. He's an oh, shit guy. teams that don't have an oh shit guy are the teams that typically struggle. They downed Nick Chubb in the backfield, so he lost about 2 or 3 yards on there. 9:37 left. So, yeah, here's the big question: where is he going to be going next year? He's not going to the Giants. Baker back, by the way, and Baker's sacked again, and Aaron Rodgers too. I was thinking, yeah, we got a lot of possible moves here. Aaron Rodgers was probably going to be going, I think. Aaron Rodgers has the potential of maybe retiring. I don't think it's necessarily going to happen. I think he's going to do 1 or 2 more years, maybe. If he wins the Super Bowl this year, he might have a bigger shot of retiring. But if he doesn't win the Super Bowl this year, no, I think he'll definitely come back. Aaron Rodgers, there's been talk of the Broncos. Actually, the Broncos for either one of those teams, I think. In this case, both of them are outside the conference. Baker on a 3rd and 18 is scrambling, taking off, and he's going to try and run for it. Flag on the play, picks up 7 or 8 yards on that. Maybe that picks up about 10 yards, but it tends to the flag. The Broncos are heavily involved in a lot of the conversations right now. You know, whether or not Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock is the future over there. I think one of those 2 players will go there. I'd like to say on a left field, just for the hell of it, I could almost see maybe Russell Wilson going to Atlanta. You know, the only reason I'm saying is because it's a warmer environment. It's a dome. The problem is it's not a big market. And I wonder in some ways being married to Ciara, if that's something that they want, or they're craving a little bit of a bigger market than what they have right now. You know, I don't know for you guys outside the New York area, but the New York New Year's Eve party that they had here at Times Square, they kept going back out to Seattle to have Ciara. I don't know if that was a pitch attempt that basically Fox did over here in the New York area to try and recruit her. I don't know. Holden, by the way, they took it. It's a 3rd down and 16 at this point. The 9-yard line, Baker's back, and another flag on the play. Never mind, the play is called off. So I could theoretically see maybe if you go to Atlanta, because Atlanta's a big film market. Atlanta's the 3rd biggest film market in the country, believe it or not, after LA and New York. LA and New York are pretty much tied neck and neck. But Atlanta's number 3 right now, and there's a lot to be done out there. Ciara could probably do a lot with that as well. And I don't think, honestly, when it comes down to it, the Falcons are that far off. Russell Wilson could be a big benefit there. The Broncos, I don't think Aaron Rodgers would necessarily go there. I think if Aaron Rodgers is going to continue, I think he's going to be going right for a team that basically can win him a Super Bowl. I don't think the Broncos are there yet. You know, I think Russell Wilson could be possible only because of the fact that he is younger and he has a few more years to build. But again, is Denver big enough for somebody like that? Don't know. I put a gun to my head right now. Aaron Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson goes to, I already said it, I'm knee deep into this one. I'm going to say Atlanta on that one. So anyway, 4th down and 27. The Browns are punting the ball with 7:45 left. They're punting from inside their own end zone once again. Colquitt had that terrible punt last time out. They are currently at the 8-yard line and punt midway in the end zone and about ready to be snapped. But kick is up. High punt this time too. Flag down. And punt has been called off. Oh, God. Delay of game on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. So now instead of 4th and 26, it's now 4th and 30. I believe, at their own 4-yard line. You know what? Since actually putting inside the end zone, in his own end zone, that Browns sideline is just in shock right now. Bad penalties, 3 penalties on this drive, on this run right here alone. Now Colquitt is inside his own end zone. He's pinned a little bit, so he only has 14 yards instead of the usual 15 to be able to take this punt. I was wondering if they're going to try and get the safety out of this. All right, there's the punt, and not a whole lot of pressure on that. Good punt, but down to the 49-yard line of Pittsburgh, across the 45, down to the 40, and down into the 37-yard line of Cleveland. Basically, yeah. Penalties be like, the Steelers' opponent there. There was a penalty earlier on where, I wish I could remember what happened. I remember who was it. I forget if it was if it was Clowney, who took a player's shoe and threw it, attacking on 15 yards. There's been a couple of personal fouls right now that the Browns have had today for 15 yards that have crushed them on unnecessary moves. Things that turned, like I said, a 3rd down and 8 into an automatic first down. Baker Mayfield, 8 for 23, 128 yards. Roethlisberger, 24 for 45 for only 123. But Najee Harris has 136 yards rushing. So it has been his show. He gets the ball again here. And again, as soon as he gets hit, he just keeps moving. So 3rd down has been terrible for both teams. Browns have been 3 for 12. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been 4 for 16. And penalties, 10 penalties for the Browns now for 77 yards. There it is right there. I was meant to look that up initially and just got sidetracked and rabbit holed elsewhere. But 10 rushes or 10 penalties for 77 yards. That will kill you every single time. Celebrating. Okay. Cause the penalties, the opposing team celebrating after a touchdown. Yeah, that too. Excessive celebration, which is kind of funny because back Najee Harris with another run. Now 6.5 minutes left. It's funny. You go back 10 or 15 years to see the stuff that they do after a touchdown. Where you have all the synchronized, whatever it is, the dance play, the canoe. You spin the ball and you're holding your hands around the campfire. All that stuff would have been guaranteed to be a 15-yard penalty years ago. And to be honest with you, initially, I kind of hated that stuff. But now I'm like, dude, this is freaking hilarious. As long as you're not, like I said, getting in the face and, too hard on the opponent right there. But, the kind of the choreography that these guys have for unity, I got to tell you, I love some of the creativity these dudes have. Incomplete pass, by the way, brings up a 4th down. It might be in field goal range, though. I have to look at that. Walmart rest and dumbass calls. Well, I was going to say, I believe the Cowboys would have something to say to you in this particular case. Another failed 3rd down. Both teams, that was in and out of the hands there too. That could have been caught. But now they are setting up the field goal right now to set up. Boswell has a 22, a 30, and a 50-yard field goal right now. And this one is a 48-yarder, and straight through. That should not be a problem. And now it is 19-7. So I like what they're doing. They're chipping away. They're forcing Baker to have to pass the ball, and he's not gotten the job done in that regard tonight. There is a flag on the play, however, so let's see what happens here. Probably no excessive celebration on a field goal, though. I can make a Bill Grammatica reference where he kicked I believe it was an extra point in the first quarter and broke his ankle. It was after the season. It was like a routine, like 28-yard field goal. He was jumping up and down with joy and broke his ankle. Okay. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. So it's going to be 15 yards invoked on the kickoff now, which is going to bring the kickoff out to the dude. Oh, the Browns have just had so many unsportsmanlike conducts tonight. They cannot be disciplined right now. And an undisciplined team is a team that misses the playoffs. Yeah. What happened? A fight broke out, and in this case, all right, I got to give a little bit of a break here. Pittsburgh player threw the first punch, but it looks like they caught the second one. Cleveland Browns record against the Steelers since 1990, modest 28. I knew coming into this that Roethlisberger was 25-3-1 in his career against the Browns. So, yeah, this is not a Browns team that had good success against Pittsburgh, and the benefit they get to play them twice a year or so. But 19-7 is still the score at this point. 5:48 left. Browns have 3 timeouts remaining. The Steelers have 2 timeouts remaining. 15 seconds left on the play clock, and kick from 35 into the end zone. I question the decision to take that out from 4 yards deep, across the 20 and down to the 24-yard line. It's a decent return of 28 yards. However, you burn clock to lose ultimately 1 yard. Don't think that was the best idea to do. Bob Green. Tom Brady is 33-3 against Buffalo. That one I knew. Tom Brady is also, I think, 32-8, I think, against the Jets. I think this is the second best team there. winning last night yesterday with a last minute come from behind win against the Jets. Brandon, being a massive Jets fan, he actually held his head high, saying, "All right, we went up against the best. We've lost at the last minute, but I can be proud of my team and how they did against Tampa at home." So 24-yard line, 5:42 left. Baker's back. Baker throws over the middle. It is complete to, is that Landry? Picks up about 7 yards. No, it's not Landry. It's Njoku. And it's burning that clock, though. This is the big problem in this case. So it's 5:29 left. Baker's got to get 2 touchdowns here. So 5:20 left, 5:19. And it's a handoff to Nick Chubb. Interesting decision there. They did get the first down. So maybe that was the decision there, just to get the fresh set of downs on second down. Curious to call in that case, because now you're burning a lot of clock. You're going to be under 5 minutes by the time this next play comes out. So moving pretty well. We're at 2 hours and 55 minutes on this show, so I can't complain there. Nick Chubb's numbers have come down dramatically. I wonder if that was going to happen, if they're going to zone in on him more. Pass over the middle. It is complete to Landry, Njoku again, who picks up about 8 yards on that, but the clock continues to run. Nick Chubb was averaging about 9 yards a rush for a while there, and then I think they just kind of brought in a guy in deep. They are in tight, adjusted, and now they've hurt Chubb's numbers. Still not bad for an average rush, but still. Baker is getting sacked now because he needs to get sacked a few more times. That brings up a third down and stupid long TJ Watt again. Dude, he is just owning Baker Mayfield tonight. I think it's the third or fourth sack. He's had a couple of block passes. Baker rolled on his own head, too. That freaking sucked. Ouch. So, yeah, that's been a massive. Most sacks in a season. TJ Watt has 21.5. He is actually only 1 sack shy, by God, of Michael Strahan's technically 22.5 sack mark set 21 years ago. I say technically because if you don't remember that one, Brett Favre slipped and it turned out to be a sack. And then Favre immediately got up and hugged him. And somebody sacked him. No, that's not Watt this time. But that is another sack. That was Highsmith. Another sack on Baker Mayfield. That sets up a 4th down and stupid long with 3.5 minutes left. They're letting the clock run. I don't know if they've resigned at this point or not, but that offensive line has just absolutely crumbled. Yeah, that's I believe the 8th sack tonight on Baker Mayfield. So, Watt was in close, but it wasn't Watt. It was Highsmith this time around. But it doesn't even matter at that point. It doesn't matter which way it is. But Mayfield is going for it on 4th down and 19 with 3 minutes left. He doesn't have a choice. Play is called off. Timeout on the defense here. So Pittsburgh, they took the timeout. It's not the worst idea there. Let's see. It may sound fake or cringe. Try and make it in the effort. Okay. And probably 8 or 9 years. So you're only 13. Okay. Noah Matthew. All right, listen. Here's the one thing I will say. And as somebody with no sports experience, I was the kid that platooned right field in Little League. And Little League in strikeouts. I sucked. You were limited by your belief level. Your belief and your dedication in anything you do in life is going to determine your success. The phraseology I always heard is your attitude is your aptitude. What is it? Your attitude and your aptitude is what actually design basically your goals in life. And your success will be based on how badly you want it and what you can do. And it's studying stuff like this. It's watching what these guys are doing. It's getting familiar with and playing on whatever league it is. I mean, I don't know what position you got. 4th down and 19, by the way. Throws it deep down the field, and it's going to be well overthrown, but a flag on the play, so it might be a pass interference. That would be huge if Baker was able to get the pass interference on that one. But bottom line is, listen, I don't buy into the whole, you're not good enough to do it crap. There was a lot of things I would have liked to have done, but I was convinced that I was too stupid, ugly, fat, and useless and retarded to ever amount to anything. So for me personally, I gave up early, and only when I hit my 30s did I realize that everybody that said that to me is full of shit. Because one of the things, you're 13, I get that. One of the things that you will come to realize is that the people that tell you can't succeed are people that themselves had dreams that they never accomplished because probably somebody told them the exact same thing. And I fell victim to that at a very young age and graduated least likely to succeed in my graduating class. So Anyway, first down and 10 on the pass interference. So the Browns getting a little bit of new life here. Throws over the middle, but dropped. Probably not a bad idea that Higgins actually dropped that because it stops the clock and it wouldn't have been a big pickup. So you know what? Like I said, what you believe is what's going to happen in life and whatever it is. So you know what? You got 70 years left. Fucking make it go, man. Make it happen. Yeah. But like I said, when people start to tell you that you can't do something, you got to look at the source and basically wonder if somebody told them the same thing and they settled. But 41-yard line, second down and 10. Baker is underneath, throws it at the feet of Chubb. Like I said, a lot of his passes tonight have been down at the shins or below of his receivers. So even though they got new life and did get that that pass interference on fourth down, Baker Mayfield was 10 for 27 for 144 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and by God, 8 sacks. So flag on the play at this point. I'm not sure what that is. False start on the offense. So between the penalties and the sacks, that team is getting killed. So overall, technically, they have 199 yards. They only have 99 yards passing. But, you know, if you include in all the sacks that have happened there, 96 yards, or 99 yards right now. But it's been both teams. Both teams are averaging 3.4 yards per play, but the Browns have been outscored almost 2-1 in the fourth quarter. That's terrible. No, that's fine. Okay. So basically back, and Baker's taken off, scrambling. Watt is not going to be able to sack him in this case, but Baker takes off, picks up the first down across midfield, tries to throw a shoulder into a lineman or a cornerback that goes nowhere, but he does get out of bounds. So. Let's see, left by accident. You know what? Yeah, like I said, my biggest mistake is that when I was playing Little League, I think I would have done better if I looked at it from the attitude of I can do well as opposed to let's hope I don't suck. Your mentality and your confidence, not your arrogance, but your confidence, will determine so much about whether you're going to go anywhere. You know, in my case, I went up to bat every single time, hoping to just not strike out. And you go in that mindset that please don't let me strike out. Please don't let me strike out. I'm going to suck here. I'm going to suck here. You go into it like 30% worse than you would have going into it just normal, let alone being like, you know what? I'm going to smack the shit out of this ball. So when you have a confidence and a bravado and, and an attitude of success, it changes so many things about you. You know, when I was a financial advisor, I built that from nothing. You know, when I basically moved into the entertainment field, I built that from nothing, and then eventually after a while you start getting tired of getting hit in the head with objects and you got to decide on a new career path. Here we are. But in everything that I've ever done in my life, I have done it with a belief and the attitude that I can do it. And some people told me I was crazy, and that's fine. But then it's amazing how fast they turn around when you start showing glimmers of success. You know, I remember when I told my parents that I was going to move into the entertainment industry, and, they were like, okay, fine, whatever. And I remember having to write down on paper everything that I had accomplished for like the first 3 months. Did this commercial, did this. I mean, some of it was just background work, pedestrian stuff, dude walking down the street or dude sitting in a chair. But suddenly my parents are seeing me on TV and they were like, this is really stupid. Why are you doing this? To, oh my God, my kid's on TV and people are calling me to say so. And then eventually moving into like the stuff I did, like College Humor Live, the stuff I did with America's Got Talent, all these kind of things. It kind of just padded the resume a little bit to be like, hey, cool shit. But it came about because people started to believe in me, so find someone that does believe in you and find someone that does actually have the attitude that, yes, you can do it. You're 13, so I would assume you're probably not really built muscularly yet, and that's okay. But work on that speed, work on the eyesight, see what's going on there. And see and study what's happening. I don't know specifically where you were, what your home turf is like, what kind of sports they have, or how the family feels about it. Because sometimes, parents can be a little bit, don't hurt yourself kind of thing. But like I said, how you think is so important to how you live, and I wish I learned that when I was younger. YouTube, by the way, is great. So much to study on YouTube, man. I pay for YouTube, and it's worth every penny because there's so much on self-improvement, leadership, coaching, mentorship, and attitude on there. You just go in, download. In my case, I download it on my phone, and I just throw it in my car. So I just play through the Bluetooth when I'm driving, I got a 2.5-hour ride sometimes to Brooklyn. I hate those things. But you know what? You throw something on the car and you listen to it. For you, to and from school can work, anything like that. You get a hell of a good education through YouTube that we never had. And most people don't use it, which is your advantage if you do. So anyway, they're showing Roethlisberger right now looking very sullen on the sidelines. He's up by 12, but he looks so focused at the moment. So, so I don't know. I can't read what his eyes are saying right now, but maybe just kind of choking, maybe just taking it all in right now. This is his last home game. I think that's probably a part of it right now. He almost looks like, maybe as I'm looking at it a little closer, like he's trying to hold off on crying a little bit, which is hella understandable. He's been with this team for so many years. And I'm going to put that one up right there. Why not? So 45-yard line. Baker's got it. 2 minutes left. They have all 3 timeouts. Baker throws. It's caught in this case by, I think it's by Higgins. But again, that throw is down at the knees. Baker is releasing late. And I don't know why that is, but for whatever reason, he threw another one right down at the kneecaps of Higgins. So, oh, yeah. You will always have people that will doubt you. You will always have people that will trash talk you. No matter how good you – remember hearing a line, I think it was Jason Sehorn when he was with the Giants. No matter what you do in life, no matter how good you are, 10% of the population will always hate you. So just accept that and roll with it. But 37-yard line right now, 156. 4th down and 2. So this could arguably be the ball game here. Throws over the top, and it is caught and out of bounds. Peoples-Jones with a great pickup down at the 22-yard line. And Cleveland is not done yet. You will have doubters. You will have people that will talk trash about you to your, behind your back, to your face. Accept it. It's life. Again, you got a lot of people that maybe don't get out of life what they wanted to, and they kind of try and bring you down rather than themselves up. It kind of sucks. But I kind of, it took me a lot of decades before I figured that one out. Now I'm just kind of like, don't care. But for a while, it was pretty damn tough on me. 151 left. Throws deep towards the end zone and batted away, incomplete. Brings up a 2nd down. Pass intended for Higgins, but a great stop there by Hayden and also one other player for Pittsburgh. So 147 left. Yeah, that was a great bat away by Hayden on that. Pass would have probably been caught by Higgins. That hand didn't go out, and that would have been an instant touchdown. And Baker's looking for a flag on that, but I think because he turned around and had the hand out like this, there was no flag. Cameras once again showing Ben Roethlisberger. You could almost see a couple tears in the eyes there a little bit, just a tiny bit. And that's understandable. 22-yard line, Baker over center. Picks up 9 on that. The clock's going to continue to run. I almost wonder if they're going to take a timeout here. Nope, going to continue to let the clock run. Curious decision on that, I think. Yep. Quarterback sneak across midfield down the 10-yard line. So now they'll probably now they do take the timeout with 10 seconds left. 19-7, 125 left. Even if they get the touchdown here, they're going to have to get the touchdown here. They have to kick that onside kick in order to have a shot and get that other touchdown as well. There's no other option. Ben Roethlisberger, 2 career starts when already eliminated from playoff contention. Wow. Only 2 in his entire career. Yeah, I can't imagine what that's like here as a Giants fan. In his 18-year career. Never under 500. He's never been under 500, really? No, they've been. Maybe for the end of the season, though. But yeah, it's going to be weird because you take players like that for granted until when they're gone. You saw it with Peyton. You saw it with Eli a little bit. You're going to see it with Aaron Rodgers. You're going to see it with Tom Brady one day, where you have these guys you're used to now that are just suddenly gone. Pass deep over the top, and I would say Landry couldn't turn around fast enough. The ball was actually thrown on the wrong side, so Landry couldn't turn around to get it. But that would have been a touchdown if he turned around faster. Let's see. Whose fault was that? Yeah. If Landry had turned around a little bit faster, that would have been a touchdown. But again, not a great pass. Again, down low. Baker has been throwing low passes all night tonight. It's so weird. I think, honestly, if you threw passes up, they would have won. They'd be winning this game. The second down and 10, 120 left. 11-yard line. Baker's in the shotgun. He's got, looks like Johnson in the backfield right there. And snap. And scrambles, rolls out, and throws it into the incomplete pass to Higgins. But they're calling, I think it was pass interference on the defense there. If that actually is what I thought the call, I think it is. It's definitely against Pittsburgh. Right? I just don't know if it's a hold or pass interference. But a pass interference here will bring the ball down to the 1-yard line. So pass interference on the defense. So, yeah, I could say it. There was a lot of hold there, right in front of the side judge, who was just very nonchalant, with just like flag. It's like, dude, just. So, you know what? Well, I got a second here. So first down and goal. Baker's throwing the ball again, and okay, there's a touchdown. So they do pick up the touchdown right there. So Harrison Bryant does pick up the touchdown. They'll get either way with the extra point or not. They got to do the onside kick here, and they need the second touchdown. Baker surprised me a little bit. I mean, this season, I think this makes him 16 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, I think, what just happened here. I think that's what his numbers are. But it's been odd because I predicted this team to win probably 11 games this year. Clearly, that's not going to happen. But I really thought that this was going to be the 1 year they're going to go up a notch, and they just stayed stagnant. They've been middle of the pack pretty much in every possible aspect. Their defense has been solid for most of the season. Their offense has been meh, but it's been very like 12 to 19 rating in the NFL, as far as team standings go for the entire season, pretty much. And yeah, it's been a disappointing time over there, and especially with giving what's happening with Cincinnati. If Cincinnati can keep building and keep growing the way they are, that the Ravens are going to continue. That is going to be a very strong division going into next year, with or without Ben Roethlisberger. Because even without him, you still have Mike Tomlin as your head coach. And Tomlin is the third longest tenured coach in the NFL right now, after Bill Belichick and Drew Brees. So he's been, it's been a lot of years there, 15 years. I like a lot of those teams. I don't think the Browns can contend. I just don't. And I think it would have been better if Baker Mayfield never signed that contract with Progressive. Those commercials are way too involved to be filmed there. Chase McLaughlin is 0 for 2 in his career in onside kicks. If Pittsburgh gets this, I think they'd have to use all 4 downs. They might still need a first down in this case, but onside kicks are nothing like they used to be, because you can't line up inside the hash mark. You got to separate on both sides so you can't have the mob, and it hurts a lot that way. Fix it. And it looks like Pittsburgh recovers it. So the ball didn't even go 10 yards anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered much actually if Cleveland touched it. But the crowd is on their feet as Roethlisberger heads out. So he's still very, very much in work mode right now, and that's understandable. But the crowd is fired up for, again, what is probably going to be his last home game and his last home possession as a Pittsburgh Steeler, and probably as an NFL player too. So you're kind of watching a little bit of history right now. The signs have been phenomenal. There's one, thank you, Big Ben. Another one's like Baker parts. So, all right. So like I said, they still got to get the first down here. Got to make something happen. But Najee Harris picks up about 4 on that. So it's going to set up a second down and 6. Yeah, Cleveland is now taking timeouts. They, of course, have it. Pittsburgh's got the ball. So, yeah, Pittsburgh recovered that. The ball only went 10 yards. Roethlisberger is back out on the field at this point. Again, for what's probably going to be his last times under center at Heinz Field. So, again, you're kind of watching the end of an era here. And again, this is something where 2004, you had him, you had Eli, and you had Phillip Rivers. And between the 3 of them, you had 4 Super Bowls, at least 2 MVPs. Eli had 2. I'm not sure how many Big Ben had. I think maybe 1 or 2. So you've got 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in that draft class, borderline 3, depending on what you want to do with Phillip Rivers. But you're watching the end of an era, and I got to tell you, it's a little bit bittersweet right now. So another handoff to Harris, who's about a yard short of the first down marker. So they're going to take their last timeout right here. And with 1 minute left, all Pittsburgh needs is 1 yard to take this game. Just for one more time, just for fun. Borderline, I'm happy with my pick on this. I've done better with some of my numbers, but I predicted 27, 25, 12. Brandon predicted earlier in the show 27, 21. 19, 14. He wins this one. He's closer than I was. So I give Brandon the win on this one for being closer on his prediction than I was on mine. But all the signs, all the love. And you know what? It's a Monday night, and it doesn't matter to these fans. They got work tomorrow, but they're watching history in action. And that's really awesome. And it's cool to see this, to see the love and the outpouring of respect. And who knows, their season may not actually end next week. If they win against the Ravens, which I think is doable, the Ravens are a little bit lost team right now. And if the Colts somehow find a way to lose, and there's Najee Harris who picks up the 30, down to the 20, down to the 10, and touchdown Najee Harris. That actually might not have been the best way to handle that, but it's points regardless. Because now you have to give the ball back to Baker Mayfield. It's 25-4. Holy shit. 25. Miss the extra point, please. And get the 25 right. So, all right. So, you know what? Like I said, I think Harris probably technically should have just downed the ball after the first down. But I understand why he wanted to get that touchdown. I'm not blaming him too much there. But it's just extending this game, and you're giving the ball back to, Baker Mayfield and Cleveland with the 0.001% chance they got to win this. So kick is up and good. It is now 26-14. I said 25-12. All right, now I just had to finish what I just finished saying. So if the score stays that way, I actually get the win on this one. Brandon, I'm sorry, man. I just finished saying that you were going to get the win when it was 19-14. But I didn't expect the Steelers to pick up garbage point there. So, all right. I don't even know what the over-under was on this game. So, no, actually not fantasy points. No, this is, well, actually fantasy points too, yeah. But it's padding his overall stats. He is already the best rookie running back in the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the first one to ever have 1,100 yards rushing. Franco Harris had the record previously, but he's now at probably 1,150, and he still has next week to play. But at 26-14, yeah, you're going to have to assume that the Cleveland Browns are going to take this one. Yeah, and try to drive the ball deep is what I meant to say. Sorry. Got sidetracked for a split second there. No, well, not as a rookie. I don't know what Bet has got. Landry takes the ball out down to the 20-yard line. Yeah, I don't know how many yards Jerome Bettis got as a rookie. When he was with the Rams in 1990, he had 14.29, but he was with the Rams back then. So nobody remembers that actually Jerome Bettis was a Ram before he was a Steeler. He played three years with them. First with the LA Rams, and then moved over to a season with St. Louis in their first year in St. Louis before they bolted back to LA again. But yeah, no, God, I forgot about that. Anyway, 44 seconds left. Baker throws over the middle. It's dropped. Doesn't matter anyway. They're out of timeouts. So arguably that could be the best thing that could have happened for Cleveland. But you know what? That's a good thing. 4 p.m., by the way, I have a show called The Sports Den. Zingo TV and Spangler Sports World and Spangler's World Network. You can find it via YouTube, Twitch on Spangler Sports World. And we have a show tomorrow. I'm going to bring that up. I think I'm going to talk a little bit about players that you forgot started off with other teams. And I think I'm going to run with something like that. My co-host, Obi Spencer, right now has an issue, a family issue, so I'm probably not expecting him to be on. JD, I know, can't do it. Brandon has to work tomorrow. So it might be my lonesome for an entire hour. But you know what? Fudge it. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with it. 11:35. This game is running long, too. So 24 seconds left. This will probably be the last play of this game, especially if this ball is completed. Pass completed and picked in the center and incomplete. So 4th down and 3, 15 seconds left, still going. So, overall, happy with my numbers on that one. Hometown for Ben Roethlisberger, Findlay, Ohio, 135 miles west of Canton. So he's actually not even that far from Pittsburgh either. So family can come out and see it. Could come out and see him pretty easy on that one. 15 seconds left. Getting tired. 27-yard line. Baker's back. Baker throws over the middle. It is complete. And is it complete? No, it's incomplete. It's technically an interception on that. I think they're calling that an interception. But garbage interception irrespective of that. But they'll need the ball down once, and they will call it. And as a result, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-7-1. They have statistically an 8% chance of getting into the postseason. Again, they got to win next week against the Ravens, and the Colts have to lose against Pittsburgh. And then the Chargers and Raiders cannot tie, which let's assume that one's going to happen. But in a weird quirk, Ben Roethlisberger's got to come out one more. Yeah, really. Ben Roethlisberger has to come out to knee the ball down one more time for his final play at Heinz Field in his career. So it's poetic in some ways. And yes, Brady's going to play till 70. By the way, just to clarify that, you don't mean 70, you mean 170. That dude is going to be someone that basically, people will be like, you know what? I remember when my great-grandpa watched him when he was a rookie. How is he still putting up 5,000 yards? That's Tom Brady. Dude, that guy he's under contract till 48 years old. I'm going to wrap up on this. I'm going to call it in a second. He is under contract with the the Tampa Bay Bucks until he's 48 years old. That is also the oldest player in history was George Blanda, who retired at 48 as a kicker by that point. He's a quarterback and eventually became a kicker at the end of his career. I guarantee Tom Brady is looking to probably go bare minimum 1 day older than George Blanda to be not only the best quarterback of all time, but also the oldest one too. He'll be, dude. Honestly, with his workout routine, I know it's like 20% protein, like 80% like pasta, whole grains and veg and fruit. It's like 20%. It's like 20% protein, which is very, very, very light for a guy like that. But his routine is so strict that it's certainly possible that I think at 48 years old, if he does not take a massive injury, yes, I think he can do it. I think that man could go to 50 if he wanted to. 50 is the new 40, 40 is the new 30, et cetera, et cetera. So you know what? I could see it. I'd like to see it. I think it would be neat. Gives us old farts some hope. So anyway, I'm going to call it at this point. The sister show that I have, Tales from the Film Set, will be back on Wednesday as we're doing live stream reaction of Boba Fett and what's happening over there. Me, JT, Ryan are going to be talking about that, breaking that down. Tomorrow on Tales from the Film Set on Spanglish World Network on Twitch and also on Zingo TV, which is minority owned by Fox. We will be doing a breakdown and a spoiler of all things Cobra Kai. So if you've seen Cobra Kai, we're going to basically deep dive the snot out of that, talk about everything that happened there, predictions for season 5. And if you haven't seen it and you don't want to know spoilers, please do not tune in because the entire show is just going to be just driving deep on Cobra Kai, the first 4 seasons. And like I said, where season 5 is going to go. So yeah, we will be back in this case next Sunday, or probably maybe Saturday. I'm going to talk to the guys, see if I can do Saturday, but definitely Sunday night. We're going to do that one, and then come playoff time, we will definitely be back at that point, and then breaking into MMA, wrestling, soccer, and baseball if we end up having it. Who knows? So, but yeah, thanks as always. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a great night. Go to bed because I'm doing the same. Cheers.